What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Past The Barb. I'm Ryan Pinkalla, and I got a few of the boys joining me tonight. We got a great show for you. We got some awesome guests coming in this evening, and we're hyped to be back together. We got three of us here tonight. It's me, Sam Sobi, and Barty Boy. So we're looking forward to this one. We're going to bang this thing out. I know we threw out a poll earlier today. If you follow us on social media, on Instagram, you saw we threw out a little poll question thing. We got a ton of responses to that, so we're going to dig into some of that in a little bit. But gentlemen, welcome back to the #1 outdoors podcast in the world. It's pretty amazing to still be saying that. I don't know what to say.
Welcome back. Still at the top of the mountain. It is a change of seasons, kind of in between fishing and hunting, but still we remain at the top, and that's because each and every one of you. Thank you for subscribing to Past The Barb on YouTube, which we're trying to make a push to get more. Thank you for subscribing on any other listening platforms, and thank you for making us the #1 outdoors podcast in the world.
Yes, sir. And Sobi, with that, I think what we're going to do, I'm going to put these boys on the spot here, but we've been talking about it for a while, and now that, well, we're getting done with my busy season. I guess this is just me being selfish in the fact of saying I was busy for so long because I know Pink is about to get insanely busy with hunting, but I can actually focus on things now. What we're going to do is, so we want to push really hard for YouTube, get into 1,000 subs, and we need all your help. So in order to do that, we want you to go over to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe, comment on this episode. And once we hit 1,000 subs, we will pick a random sub and contact you. All by out of my own pocket, I'll buy $100 worth of Niku plastics. Sobi, what do you give them?
I'm not going to disclose that yet, but it's going to be good. Bart and I were talking earlier today, and we're going to build like a big bundle package. Some L-tab wear will be in there, potentially even some Vexlar or Hummingbird stuff, or even a fishing rod or reel, and obviously some plastics. We're going to build like a whole outdoor fall bundle. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please do.
Pink, you think you got a frozen kitchen laying around?
Yeah, I'll kick in a frozen kitchen, and I'll throw in a few hand spun hair jigs into this mess.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah.
I haven't been able to get those all summer. He won't even text me back.
Nobody has.
Commodity
this prize
right
package
now.
is now worth $1,000. All right. So yeah, you heard us. Go subscribe to the YouTube channel. We'd appreciate it. We love all of you, especially our podcast listeners. If you haven't given us a rating on Apple, go for it. Spotify, like, we're through the roof right now, so we're pretty pumped about that. But keep things rolling, and it's nice to be back, boys. It's the fall, and it kind of felt like it for a little bit, but then it didn't.
For like a day?
The usual. Yeah. It got cold for like a few days.
You're hot, then you're cold.
I seriously, I was kept hoping like I was gonna launch the boat and the water temps were gonna be lower, and they just like weren't, and I was pretty sad about it, honestly.
Yeah. See, dude, the biggest bummer for me, and we'll talk to one of our guests a little bit in a little bit about, actually both of them, about their experience down on the river. But I saw the cool down coming, and I was like, hell yeah, this is gonna be great. And then I like got back from something and looked at the 10-day and saw it was going to be like 90 during the tournament. And I was like, oh,
excellent.
That's not right. That's not what I was hoping for.
Historically, like some of those first cold fronts, doesn't it get like freaky deaky down by La Crosse?
Yeah, just as long as the water gets in the 60s and it stays in the 60s. Okay. So like you want it to kind of cool off and stabilize. Like the biggest thing with the river is stabilization. If you have stabilization and a trend going a certain way, it's incredible, which the weight showed out for this. The river's fishing awesome, but I was more of selfishly saying for what I wanted to do. Like I went there wanting to, I wasn't going to go play the largemouth game. I didn't have a ton of practice. I went down there with 2.5 days. And I knew I was going to stick to the smallmouth game plan, which is what I typically do on the river in general. And the biggest help for me is cool nights. Gets fish that are like, people don't believe it, but Pink, you've been down there in the summer. Those smallmouth school in the backwaters, big time. Like, oh yeah, big time. And when it gets cool, they will swim 2 miles out towards the main river, or like at least chutes that are close to the main river. So you can really get them congregated and get right fast. And when I launched the first day, water was 67. So I was like, all right, we're kind of there, but how much is it going to warm up? And yeah, by the time I left the last day, it was like 72.5. And they were doing weird summertime stuff they do, but they didn't want to leave the river. They were just like, I'll hang out here until it cools off, you know?
Yeah, it looked like on just some of the, obviously I wasn't there, but some live footage and stuff, like guys were in crazy areas, wicked frog blowups. Like it just looked like a sweet tournament. Like it was.
Oh, dude, and the smallmouth topwater bite, if it would have been when the water was 67, like it was when I started practice.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Like I posted that video. I had a double my starting spot. I pulled into in practice. I do not have much experience on pool 7. So I was just running stuff I think that looks good. And I pulled into it, chucked a spook up, hit it twice, and just like, dude, all the 2 to 3 1/4s like hit it going a million miles an hour. So it's always sweet. But the big ones, it sounds like a bowling ball hit the water. It's just like a flush.
It is wild how aggressive those river fish are, dude.
It is insane.
Like,
and I worked it twice and I just heard a flush. And I looked up and I was like, oh. I like just reeled down and I was like, yeah, it's big. And then I was like reeling, and there's no like, dude, it was such a nice practice and tournament because I had nobody around me. Anybody who went to pool 7 went to Lake on Alaska for the most part. I had the river smallmouth fishing to myself other than like 4 or 5 boats. It was great. But I like leaned into it and I'm reeling it in. I'm like, yeah, it's big. And then all of a sudden I get the trade marketed. Like it felt like it got hung up for a second. Then I just feel do. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got 2 of them. I definitely have 2 right now. And I just reel it in and it was like a 380 or something like that. And a like upper 2 hanging off the same spook, which with no net in the boat, that is a disaster trying to land that.
Yeah. What do you do there? Are you just like boat flipping the whole thing in and deal with it?
No, you just kind of, they tire themselves out because they're fighting each other so hard.
Yeah.
So then I just grabbed the bigger one. So I just grabbed the bigger one and then dragged it onto the back carpet and then dropped my rod and grabbed the other one and put them in the middle. Kind of like
when you get multiple fish on an A rig and you're just like, I don't know, just come on.
At least it's one hook. Because then I have like 3 treble hooks there and they're going ape. And I'm like, I don't know, man. This is cool, but I don't want 2 hooks in the hand right now.
It does sound like a dangerous situation. I feel like anytime you have a crankbait and a river smallmouth, you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, we bass, so
yeah.
I mean, dude,
get one in the hand.
Practice was a ball because all I did, like, I had like 20 rods on my front deck, and I was just kidding myself because all I did was pull up to a spot, pulled out a spook, and just started Hail Marying it everywhere. And then eventually you just get a blow up, and you're like, hey, there's probably more of them there. Like one spot, it ended up being my best spot. I pulled up to, looked at it, got ready to throw my spook, and I watched a 4-pounder just engulf a full-blown shad, and I just put my rod back down and pulled my trolling motor up and left. Didn't even throw at it. That'll work. It was like, that's good. They're there.
That'll work.
But yeah, holy lock drama. We'll talk with Maggie about that in a bit when she gets in. But what have you boys been up to? And Chancy. Yeah. He was a part of that pool 7 crew.
Dang. What have you been up to, Rye?
Dude, this weekend I've kind of been getting a little bit more into hunt mode here, and so I think I told you guys on like maybe the last pod or something, we got some access on some new property to hunt this year. And so I was down there this weekend just brush mowing and doing all kinds of shit, getting real sweaty. So I'm all chewed up from that, but that was pretty, getting things kind of dialed in there. Probably should have done this weeks ago, but didn't. So it's kind of where we're at.
Cameras out?
Oh, dude. Yeah, I got cameras out, dude. And they're showing up.
What is this down by where I'm from, or is this completely like new type stuff?
This is kind of down in like Cannon Falls area, kind of like southeast.
Oh, that place is really good. Yeah.
There's a ton of deer down there, and so I'm gonna be spending some time down there. I'm hopefully get a little bit of time archery hunting, but we'll see. I'm pretty pumped for what there's just the deer numbers down there are crazy town. Like it's kind of wild actually, but I got a couple really nice bucks showing up right now, at least on the camera. I mean, it's still early in the season, so we'll see what happens, but I might try to get out there in October, and if one of them starts showing up a bunch during the day, try to do something about it. But there's a couple studs down there that are get me pretty fired up. So we'll see what happens. I think more are going to show up. There's so many does on like these couple farms that we got access to, and I don't know. It definitely sets up really good. There's a ton of ag down in that area, so there's just deer everywhere. I mean, most of it there's not much public. There's a lot of private in that area, so that generally helps with deer density. But there's there's going to be some hunting happening. Let me tell you that.
That was going to be my next question. Is like I know what Cannon Falls looks like a little bit, but maybe for the folks that don't know what that area looks like or anything, just tell us kind of how this land sets up.
Yeah, so like down in that area, the closer you get to the Cannon River, that kind of cuts in that part of the state like east-west across the state. It's like it connects to the Mississippi River at like Red Wing area. So through there, it's really bluffy. So it's a lot more, I'd say even more like kind of like not quite La Crosse bluffy, but fairly bluffy along the river. And then lots and lots of ag. So there's like in the area that I'm in right now, it's a lot of standing corn. But there's some like smaller timber blocks within that like ag area. And from what I've seen just driving around, like as soon as you get around those timber blocks, there's just deer everywhere. I mean, there's just game in general. Like there's a lot of turkey down there and stuff. And
so many turkeys in that area.
So much everything. Like there's just a lot of stuff. And there's not, most of the properties are bigger. Like, the further up towards the metro you get, I'll say like the properties get a lot smaller. Like they're like 40s, 20 acres here, 10 acres there. A lot of the stuff down there are like bigger farms, which I think helps a lot of that. But
a lot of corn and beans.
It's almost that area right now is almost all corn around, at least where I'm hunting at.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, it's like it rotates, right? So some years there's a lot of beans in parts of it too. But right now, yeah, it's like pretty much all corn. And one of the properties we have has a pretty big standing cornfield on it now, and the other one is all like CRP and timber and stuff. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's fun. We set it up pretty nice for at least kind of our first go at it, and then we'll kind of see how it goes from there. But it's a property we've hunted previously, but it was like a long time ago, and we kind of had permission on different parts of it. So but now we have access to a lot more of different area on it, and looks pretty sweet. So
that'll be like really cool, especially because you've never hunted that area before, and this is your first year having permission there. I feel like, I don't know, ultimate optimism when you go into an area and you're hunting it hard, where you're like, you have no history, you don't know.
Yeah, and I dropped a couple cell cams in there, so I've been getting a good amount of pictures from that. I had some other cameras out there, like just like SD card ones too, and I pulled those this weekend when I was there, and just the number of deer on them is just ridiculous. Like I got all these pictures, there's like 5-6 deer in the frame at a time. Like it's just ridiculous, So I'm like, all right, I'm about to play some games.
It's on.
it's on.
Fun season.
Yeah.
All right. So what have you been up to, dude? You weren't around the last pod.
Yeah, I've been
up to?
I've been kind of also like Ryan and the boys, like in between, changing seasons, kind of in between fishing and hunting. On some of the cooler days, we actually have been out fishing, and it's been awesome. And then this past weekend, I had like a wicked itch I had to scratch. I was like, I got to go for smallmouth, because where I am in southern Minnesota, like there's not much opportunity by me for smallmouth, but I got to go somewhere. And Steph was around this weekend, so I got to take her smallie fishing. And I think like the last time Steph and I went smallie fishing, like truly smallie fishing together, I had like the Red Rocket boat. Maybe this was 4 or 5 years ago. And like Steph loves to finesse fish. She loves throwing a Ned rig and a drop shot and just getting real finessey. So like she never gets to do that, and I don't get to do it either. So we just went way out to kind of western Minnesota. Bart, we were there together.
Oh, really?
Yes, kind of way out in total like legit farm country.
How was that?
It was awesome and desolate and cool. And one interesting thing, just talking with Ryan too about what ag was around in Cannon Falls, in this opposite direction, kind of where I went, in western Minnesota, there's like nothing but fields, and it's like a lot of beans, a lot of corn. On Onyx, all these plots are anywhere from like 500 acres to 1,600 acre plots. Like this is legit big time farming. And then kind of as we got way, way, way farther out in the west part of the state, I started to be like, what the hell is that in the fields? And it was like beautiful, lush, almost looked like tops of carrots. I was like, what kind of agriculture is this? And I'm like, pretty soon I'm like, I got to pull over and look at this. And dude, there's a ton of beet fields out there, sugar beets. And I had no idea that was like a huge part of that section of Minnesota. So that was pretty interesting. And then, after that, Steph and I went and just burned the smallmouth down. Anything from finesse fishing to throwing a spinner bait to throwing a jig to,
dude, it kind of looked like you guys spanked some good ones too.
Yeah, some nice ones. And just like, because we don't know what was going to be like. It was pretty hot. It was like 80 some degrees. I was like, we might not catch anything. I don't know, smallmouth or gypsies. And then like we caught them and I was like, oh yeah. Right away, we caught them in like 18 feet of water. And then by the end of the day, I was catching them on like probably 1.5 feet in water on wood. So Steph had a freaking blast. I had a blast. And then besides that, we've just been kind of slowly setting up deer stands and just kind of jumping across the road here where we have permission. And we've got a bunch of different stands set up and trees actually trimmed. So we've got, some
cameras out there.
Yeah, we do got cameras out there and we've got the ladies. There's a lot of women folk around here. There's beautiful does everywhere. And then a couple small bucks running around. So we're just, as long as we got the ladies, I'm feeling good.
Waiting for rut time, brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd like to maybe poke one of those nice ladies out of there. And then after that, just sit on a buck. So
yeah.
But it's been good.
We'll get to our guest in a sec here. But I got to ask, so you fished your last Champions Tour event of the year. What was it like fishing the championship? Because I got to film it. So I didn't get what was your, I guess, experience getting to be at the infamous Champions Tour championship? Someone's winning or Kyle Shuda won a $65,000 boat.
It was super sweet because it was my first time making it to the championship. I've only been fishing Champions Tour 2 years, but I missed it last year. Just like I was the first dude out. So I was just really pumped to be there. And to be honest, it almost felt like less pressure because I just felt like you got to go out and you got to just have the best damn day ever. And you got to swing for it or else like, no big deal. Like, you know what I mean? It was a non-paid entry fee. Once you made it to the championship, you didn't have to pay an entry fee. And it was like, they do it to the nines. The Champions Tour, they had a, kind of like a dinner the night before and yeah, the meat, like they got media there and they do everything from a nice big spread to different people talking and Scott Bonham, the owner, he was kind of, turning over the Champions Tour to a new owner. And it was just a really cool atmosphere, cool place to be surrounded with 30 absolute freaking hammers. And it was, I totally blew it and I totally stunk it up in the tournament, by the way. That's, I don't even know if that footage will make the tubes, but I had a blast the whole time. And Minnewaska, the lake we fish on, was actually like a sick lake, like really good lake.
There's so many bass in that lake.
Yeah,
dude. You do have to kind of address this though. That did you pull the Snoopy poles out, brother?
No, I did not. And
that would have been
you got
a
debt to pay, dude. You have
a debt to pay.
I was totally in a situation where I could have done it too, and I wouldn't have even felt bad. Like after the first half, I was like, kind of right near the bottom, and I was like, dude, you could just like Snoopy pull the rest of this. Like you ain't gonna win that boat, but I didn't.
I'm just saying, dude.
We gotta lock down your tournament because there's only so many left.
I might have to fish some fall brawl.
Yeah, we could get you in the Arsenal Fall Brawl, or I could get you in Longerbone's Last Licks tournament on Waconia at the end of October. We could get you out there.
Flipping milfoil is stupid.
You have to
get you out there.
We can't let another one of these lapse. Dude.
No, we
I do have a debt to pay.
Still pissed about the last one.
I will. Yeah, and Stolsky, he really.
And he's not here to defend himself, so we can really
just talk about how big of a piece of shit he is.
No, total, absolute, just piece of garbage, dude. Just a piece of shit.
All right. Well, perfect. Well, we're gonna bring in. So for this segment, what's it called? Pink Fresh Meat.
That's it.
All right. And we're bringing in a frequent visitor of the show. We haven't talked to her in a while. Miss Maggie Carsello. How's it going, Maggie?
MJ.
Hey,
no.
boys.
We do not bring her in as Maggie Carsello. We bring her
Kick her out.
The Madtown Mama. Bring her out. Kick her out and bring her back in. Ladies and gentlemen, the Madtown Mama, MJ.
Stop.
Hold your applause.
How's it going, fellas?
What up?
Good. How have you been, Maggie?
That was a lot of questions. What do I know? How am I doing?
All right,
Good.
it's been fun.
Good. I don't know much. I didn't know which one to answer. No, I've been good, guys. Been good, busy, but that's a good thing.
What is one unique thing that's happened in your life in the past month and a half? It could even be a short interaction or experience or anything weird that stands out that doesn't relate to fishing or the outdoors.
Last night, I was on my way home, and I sent every single personal belonging of myself damn near through the front of my truck bed to slam on the brakes for, guess what it was?
Possum.
Nah, it's just a cat.
Oh.
That's it. I don't know. I can't.
Does the Yoda have good brakes?
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, we stopped fast.
They are
didn't have to hit him that hard.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, I can't think of anything not fishing or outdoors related.
She's just immersed in it.
We'll let her think about it. But so Maggie, last time we had you on, you talked about the BassmastHer campaign, and now you got to go fish all 3 of the Northern Opens. I guess, how was that experience and how was it received? I mean, we got a bunch of questions we can get into off of that, but yeah, tell the people a little bit of kind of what you did, what your summer was like, and how that whole thing went down. Her and I totally thought we were going to be paired together too on day 2 of lacrosse because she was a boat behind me, and I was like, oh hell yeah, but it just went the opposite direction, so we didn't.
Bart was saying, oh hell yeah, and I was saying, oh hell no, God, no. Please, Lord.
Don't worry, we would have just sat at the lock for like 2 hours. So
that's what I did anyway. Yeah, well, dude, I literally
just a breakdown of that BassmastHer thing again for people that missed on the last time.
Yeah, so Bassmaster and Toyota teamed up for an initiative called BassmastHer, where essentially Anastasia, Christine, and myself are in fact ambassadors of it. But it's really truly any gal that likes to get out bass fishing or just fishing in general really does make BassmastHer what it is. It's really just all of us getting together, supporting each other. Really, we want the guys to get involved too, to just make women feel welcome, because why are there so many gals fishing high school, college, and none really moving past that? You know, I think a lot of them are nervous or don't feel welcome or get kind of judged. So it's really an initiative to just make them feel welcome, encouraged, just show them how many opportunities there are, even if they don't want to be tournament fishing. I mean, there's so many gals working behind the scenes at Bassmaster, you know, full-time gigs at all of these companies that you guys are sponsored by, that, you know, all of them. There's so many women involved in this industry. So we just want to help educate women on the opportunities available to them and just support them and hope that more get involved, because there's so many opportunities out there. It's unreal.
It seemed, I mean, from the outside looking in, it seemed super successful in the fact of like, there's a lot of big name pros at a lot of these events, and at every weigh-in I was at or whatever with Maggie there, I would argue that Maggie had just as many girls or just people in general coming up and talking to her and asking questions and forming a line to some level that the fighters or whatever had too. So I think it was an awesome campaign for that, just to get the ball rolling there. You had a bunch of people talking to you, Maggie. You don't have to toot your own horn. I'll toot your horn for you.
I will say, like, not to get choked up on the podcast here, but after St. Clair, I did terrible at that tournament, and it was my first Open, and, you know, I just had these big expectations. I wanted to do well, and with this BassmastHer thing, I think it was unnecessary. I did it to myself, but I made myself feel a lot of pressure around that. Like, I really wanted to do well and show out, and like, girls can fish, you know, and I did so bad, and I did not take that well at all. Like, I was really, really down on myself. And the second I got off stage, there are a lot of younger kids that come up to me, which is awesome. But there's a group of adults, a couple of women were in the group, and they just right away said, like, my daughter loved watching you up there. She was cheering, like, great job. We're so proud of you. And I was like, man, I feel like I let you guys down today. I'm so sorry. You know, I wish it would have gone better. And she goes, nobody cares how you did. No one cares what your weight was. You were up there. And I know it sounds so silly, but like, just because I had been so bummed, but hearing that, I just, you know, I was trying to talk to her, but my voice was like going like this. And I don't know what, I'm not trying to be cheesy, but like it really meant a lot. And that one conversation I had really changed my perspective on the whole thing. I mean, these elite guys have tough tournaments too, right? Like everyone does. And it's just the fact that I'm out there and representing, I hope just encourages some other gals to do it. I've gotten messages this summer that some ladies signed up for the Opens just because they saw that I was doing it. And I got to meet some of them at Leech Lake, and really dang cool. Like it's been one of the most rewarding experiences ever so far. Awesome.
After that tournament and kind of those conversations, did you feel like, and just that first one out of the way, like did you feel much more loose at Leech and the Crosse? Like did you feel like, okay, all right, first one's done. Now it's like, now we're rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did. So Leech, St. Clair was my first one. Leech was my second one. I was still kind of bummed out after practice at Leech. I'm going to expose myself here, but I landed one bass during practice at Leech. 4.5 days. Like we fished our butts off.
How much time did you spend smallmouth fishing?
Not much. I mean,
really?
we dabbled. We spent a little bit each day, and like we could find the smallmouth, but we just could not get them to eat. And
I ran into you guys a couple of times.
Yeah. Yep. But essentially, I mean, I'm really fortunate. My boyfriend Andrew fished the 3 Northern Opens as well. We had decided that we were going to do it before all this BassMastHer stuff. So I think it's pretty darn cool that we got to travel together and I had someone to pre-fish with. It's like, who else can do that? You know, it was awesome. But he essentially just decided I'm not wasting my time on these smallmouth. And then we just kind of dialed in on largemouth. And admittedly, like fishing really thick, heavy cover like that just is not my jam. But I spent 4.5 days trying to get better at it. I was getting bites, but just getting them out of those Leech Lake reeds and whatnot, like holy smokes, that stuff is tough. And I hope he doesn't mind me calling him out here, but John Hoyer slid into my DMs and he was like, honestly, don't like this like negative stuff you've got going on, like these like talking to your phone videos of you all bummed out, like stop. He's like, you're fine, like just I don't remember the whole, like he sent me a message like this long and I was like, you know what, that is not the vibe I want to give off. Like since when have I ever been like poor me, you know, like it honestly really snapped me out of it. And that was Wednesday, so we had a half day of practice that day and then our practice was over and I was just like, you know what, yeah, screw that, it isn't that big of a deal, stop putting so much pressure on yourself, just go out and fish and have fun. And maybe it's a coincidence, dude, but I went out day one of the tournament and just like I caught so many fish.
That's awesome.
Like I just went out there with a totally different mental attitude. Like I was just like, you're just fishing. Like if you don't catch any, whatever, but like have fun, enjoy it. Like you've always wanted to fish these, like stop being such a bummer. And yeah, I don't know if you guys saw, but I actually wound up getting 9th place at that one too. So it was
crushed it.
Crushed
what were you
it.
just general, like we're flipping, frogging.
No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I was flipping. The old
okay.
I don't have any on the deck here.
Were you flipping the edge or were you, you going way back into it?
I was going way back. And I admittedly Andrew also, I heard him in my head a little bit from practice. Cause you know, I mean, you guys have all fished Leech a ton. Like there's so much rice and reeds and whatever. It's kind of hard to get fish out of there. But we kind of dialed in on like when there was like a bunch of rice, if there was like a chunk of lily pads or something to flip into, just like something that's different within all that heavy cover. And I just really paid attention to that and to like where my pro was casting and just tried to get into like little spots, little holes that they didn't go. And I don't know if it was my mental attitude, if God was looking out for me or what, but my fishing just turned around and holy smokes. Yeah, I caught a ton. I was just flipping like Bronco boats, cleanup Crosse. I also switched up to a really lightweight, which I know probably sounds silly, but I threw like a 1/4 ounce flipping weight. Wow. And I think like a slower fall behind my boater who, you know, like all the boaters are throwing heavy weights into that thick stuff. I think really slowing down as a behind them and just doing something different helps a lot. So
day one, did you drew Sam Moore?
Yes.
And then did you had him the next day because day one got canceled, yeah?
Correct. Yeah. So day one got postponed. Sam stayed with us. So I'm sitting here in the passenger seat of Andrew's boat rigging, and Sam is like leaning up against the side. I get my pairing and I have to look up.
What are the odds?
You gotta be kidding me.
When I saw that on social media, I was like, that's actually hilarious. Like, that's incredible.
Like, you
were
gotta
you
be
like
kidding.
hyped or bummed? Because I feel like when you're with your buddies and you're like, we're gonna meet all these cool people and do all this stuff, and you're like, what?
Yeah, like I don't think this will hurt his feelings. I think he knows what I mean. Like, I was excited because he's my buddy, right? But at the same time, I was somewhat bummed because you have the opportunity to fish with all these other, like, I just love getting in the boat with different people because I feel like I learn something every single time, and I have fished with Sam before, but it's been a long time. So like, I still think I learned more, say, fishing with Sam than if I were with like Andrew or something. But yeah, it was goofy. I still got to dig into that GoPro footage because Sam and I get weird when we're together. Like we whip out Russian accents, and my name's Helga. His name's Gustav. It's weird.
I mean, it was electric. You guys are flipping, right? Just Helga's on.
Helga's God, on. I hope I was wearing my GoPro on my head, and I saw it. So God, I hope that my GoPro got it. But there was one time where Sam just jacks one. I look, and a rock bass just flies across my face. It just literally, it was like I watched it in slow-mo, just going. I hope I got that. I got to look at that footage.
Oh my God.
That's freaking cool. And then talk about lacrosse. How was your experience in lacrosse? Just from the fishing side or any side?
Yeah. Admittedly, I'm not much of a river fisherman myself. We just don't do it a lot. I mean, I live in Wisconsin. You'd think that we would fish there more, and we just don't. So yeah, we got up there Saturday, pre-fished 4.5 days again. I was surprised by, I don't know about you, Bart, or if you did more smallmouth stuff or largemouth stuff or what, but I was surprised by how many fish we found on like sand drops or like sandy shores and stuff like that. Pretty darn good practice. And then day one, I heard a lot of guys say that their spots, that they found in practice, that they just weren't fishing the way they were in practice. That's what my day one pro was saying. And then I heard multiple other people say that. I don't know what the deal was with that, but I felt bad for my guy day one. It was tough. I think he had two or three fish, three fish, I think. And I only had one. So that was kind of a bummer. I feel like he was stuck. Like, he knew that he had fish there. So I think we just spent a little too much time on those spots where the fish just weren't hanging out anymore. Which, what are you going to do? And then day two, I drew the guy he was 20 years old. He was really cool dude. I had a lot of fun with him. And we pretty much just frogged all day long. My arm and like wrist and hand were so tired.
That's sick though, you know what I mean?
But it was awesome. And I did pretty all right day two. After day one, I was sitting in 110th place. And then day two, I came all the way back up to 63rd. So like, obviously I wish I would have finished better, but I'm proud of that jump. I mean, that was pretty darn good. And don't get me wrong, I'd rather catch a bunch of fish, but like tournaments to me are kind of fun when you're grinding for every bite. Like, it just makes it feel like really rewarding. I don't think I called a single time. We were catching some shorts, but like you were just frogging and just praying for that blow up, which made it kind of exciting. And that guy was really cool. He said his family was giving him a hard time, of course, that he drew a girl and like, oh, if she beats you, especially from the back of the boat, like, we're gonna make fun of you. And at one point I had my limit, and I think he either had two fish or had just caught his third.
Oh, you broke his heart. You broke his heart.
No, because he wound up getting a limit too. Maybe it was after he got his limit, but he goes, that's when he told me all that. He goes, I gotta be honest with you, I was kind of nervous for a second, but you just proved that girls can fish. And I was like, of course girls can fish. Come on, man. But no, he was really fun. He had music playing all day. I was like, all right, cool.
How many times did you get stuck in practice?
None.
Really? You guys avoided it. I feel like all Instagram all week was people getting yanked out by airboats. Dude, there was a permanent airboat going to Big Marsh on Pool 7. Guaranteed. Every time I went by it, I could hear the airboat in the distance, and I'm like, who's stuck now? Like, we've all ran that same channel? Like, you're getting buried in the same spot?
Yeah.
I watched Logan Parks. If anybody saw Logan Parks' Insta story, or he made a post. He got yanked out. I don't know how he made it as far as he did. Like, he legitimately made it a couple 100 yards, half a mile up a stream that had 6 inches of water. Like, he just let her eat and was like, I hope I find deep water, and he didn't. And I met him in the airboat at the ramp when we were getting off on day 2. And like, I listened to them getting dragged out for like an hour. He was so far back in the boonies. It wasn't like tabletopped on top of a sand drop. It was like he flat out ran out of water. Like, he ran onto land.
Maybe this is a dumb question, but like, is that like a service they have down in La Crosse? Like, if you're stuck, or is that part of
there's a couple different guys that do it now. It's a little more easier on the wallet than it used to be back in the day. I think there was only a couple dudes back in the day who did it. Now there was one guy there, like Rich got he took the wrong channel running up one area, and he got really stuck, like 2 inches of water on top of a mud flat. And he said it was a couple $100, which I was like, I mean, I feel like that's a good rate for a guy going out in an airboat for his time, and also doesn't break your bank. And they were busy the whole week. Dude, there was airboats out there on game day. I could hear them getting yanked out. What does Stolsky want to say? Or is he going to say anything? You're muted.
Yeah, I'm bringing him in right now. Stolsky, what do you got?
Hey, everybody. How's everyone doing tonight?
Well,
good while, Bill.
So good, but you won't be able to hear them. So
okay. well, in all sincerity, I was trying to be there. I went down to Helena earlier today. I was running some errands, and then my truck got stuck in 4th gear. Like, it's stuck. Like,
okay.
I feel like he's waiting for us to reply, and he can't hear us.
Yeah, he is. We're all laughing at you. So.
Yeah, so I got stranded in Helena, and I was able to limp it to Joe's house, and now he's going to bring me back to Craig. And I got a loaner truck because I have to guide tomorrow, but the problem is it's just a bench seat truck, so my 2 clients are just going to have to squeeze in right next to me.
Throw them in the bed or what?
We're just gonna get cozy, I guess.
The tips are gonna be fat tomorrow, bud.
No, it's not gonna be good. And I hope this
Look at this dude's truck. Let's give him some.
The guy at the transmission shop, I explained to him what was going on, and he said, I don't know. He said, I've never seen anything like this before, so this is not good at all. But we're gonna try to prevail as best we can. So, all
right. Well, I guess that's a solid excuse. We'll allow it.
I know it sounds made up, but I swear to God, I'll send a copy of the bill once I get it.
Yeah, we'll post it on Instagram. You just let us know.
Yeah, okay. Also, I think it's gonna be hefty. So have a good night, everybody.
All right, later, dude.
Thanks, Wild Bill.
All right, perfect. Little check-in from Wild Bill. All right, back to Maggie and fishing the opens. Okay, so I was talking to the guys about it, and I figured you were a part of it too, because I saw. Did you take the picture of Rob G at the lock?
I did.
Yeah. So you were up on pool 7 on day 2. I told the guys, insane amount of lock drama on day 2, both pool 9 and pool 7. So what was your experience like with that? And I'll kind of dive into what went down for me.
Yeah. I think.
Have you ever locked much before, or was that your first time locking?
Yeah, again, I don't go to the river a ton, but we've had a handful of tournaments there, so I've done it here and there. But again, I've never fished a tournament on the river as a boater or a pro, so I've never had like the weight of that decision on me, right? The gamble, but yeah, I got to be on it, like to a fault, I think. Not trying to like make myself sound like some great person, but I'm like an overly empathetic person, and I felt like when we got out of that lock, I felt sick to my stomach for all those guys. Like,
yeah,
Robert G was there weighing his fish right next to us, and he had like 16 some pounds, dude, and just I felt sick to my stomach for those guys. And Chancy Walters was in there with us, and he was like, I bet $50,000-$60,000 was lost in this group, like because of this lock, because they like that many of those guys were gonna cash pretty good checks.
Brad Leitner Brad Leitner he made it back to way part of his bag, but he had upper 16, low 17 again. He was in the top 5 after day 1. And he didn't make the final day and have a shot to win because of barges. He got back 6 minutes late and he lost 6 pounds. He didn't even don't even know if he got a check, to be honest.
I kept saying to the guys, like, it just seems so unfair to me that these guys went out and cracked them, and because of something like that out of their control. But everybody responded to me like, "Oh, that's the risk they take when they take the locks." I'm like, all right, whatever. Yeah. No one seemed to agree with me, but I was like, I just feel like it sucks, dude. But yeah, I mean, we were up on 7, and like I said, we were frogging all day, and we just had this one area on the mat that it seemed like we would fish it, circle around the mat, and every time we came back, like, I don't know if it's just because we gave them a little break or if they'd reload there or what, but every time we went back, we would get a few bites. So we milked that spot for sure. And I had my limit, which is only 3, and my boater kind of, like I said, we were grinding it out for our limits, and he finally got his, and we told ourselves we were doing at 440 or 450, and the guy working at the lock told us to be safe, just always give yourself 2.5 hours to get back. Like, just always give yourself 2.5 hours. So we were going to do that, but once he caught his 5th fish, he was like, should we just go, like, just to make sure we make it through, and then we can fish in 8 if we get through quick. And thank God we did. At the same time, it's kind of frustrating because we could have stayed and fished, but we went back to the lock, and there was a barge going through, which takes forever to get through. Like, I don't know. What do you think, Bart? Like an hour? Half an hour?
Yeah, it was and it was a double. So a single barge will take about an hour, and this was a double. And the Pool 7 lock is the slowest lock I have ever been to in my life.
I'm pretty sure it was a triple.
Yeah, and a tug went down, from what I heard. I wasn't there for that part. I heard a tug went down too.
So when we pulled up, there were guys there who said they had already been sitting there for like an hour and a half.
Oh,
at triple. From what I understood, that was a triple that had to go through. But then there was a big ship, like it wasn't a barge, but a big ship that then had to come through this way. And then there was like another, I don't know, it was like a bunch of different cycles that had to go through. And yeah, we wound up sitting there for like 2 hours. And then our batteries started to get funky. So we went in a little early, actually. The second we got through the barge, we just decided to go in to make sure our fish stayed alive, the live well stayed on, all that. But it was not good. Like we probably, getting there and back, we probably sat in or waiting for locks for like 4 hours of tournament time.
Wow.
It was not good.
Yeah, I went up on 7 on both days. Day 1 was whatever, but day 2 in the morning, I saw on the app there was a barge going up, and I was like, okay, well, I'm still gonna see if it's there when I get there. Then I got there and it was actually a double. So I was like, sweet, we get to start the day with a double. That sucks. So then, and I'm not going to run down to Stoddard to go fish for 30 minutes and then run all the way back. So all of us were just like, dude, you pick a wing dam or a dumb piece of structure. And there was one of the 25 to 30 of us that were locking up. We're on it. And we all like parked on it. And we're like, this is my hole. And like nobody moved. We just chucked at the same spot, and then I think we all realized we weren't going to catch anything. So we all just went and sat at the lock for like an hour, got up, and my first cast of the day on anything I thought was good water was 9 a.m. On day 2. So we fished until about noon. I had a limit and doing fine, catching a bunch of fish, and I looked at my phone. And I looked at my code and I was like, dude, there's another, like, we got a clusterfuck of a situation about to happen at the lock. Then I told him, I'm like, all right, dude, I'm not going to pick this for you. Like, the reality is I need 16 pounds if I'm going to get a check. And I don't think I can catch 16 pounds down there. I think I can catch it up here, but I don't think I can down there. You have one fish right now. We can fish till 4 and go lock, but we might get locked out. Are you okay with that? And he was like, yeah, it's fine. And I was like, seriously, that's dead honest, the decision we're making. And he was cool with it. So basically the only rule we made in our boat was we weren't going to talk about the barges or the lock until 3:30. They're just going to go fishing, enjoy our day, and ignore it, because I knew at that point there was a barge getting there, and there were 2 more and 2 doubles, whatever it was getting there, and you weren't getting back at that point in time. But yeah, we just ran around and were fishing. And at 3:30, we pulled up to another one of my sand spots, and I threw up, set the hook on a 3-pounder on a spook, and he threw in a different area, set the hook on a 4-pounder, and we doubled up, landed them both. We both threw out again. I caught like a 2-pounder. He caught a 3-pounder. So now I'm looking at him. I'm like, bro, you got like 9.5 pounds in the live well right now. I got like 12 something, but you're going to get paid. Like, you had 5 pounds yesterday. You're at 14. You're going to get paid. Let's run to the lock, and we'll just start waiting and see if we can get through. So I got down there at 3:30, and that's when I started running into like Maggie and Rob G and Casey Ashley and all those guys who were chilling there. And half of them at that point were like, yeah, I was due in an hour ago. Like, I'm just waiting to go home. And when I got there, I sat there for about 10 minutes, and then the doors opened and we got to go through. But we went through, and the moment we went through, dude, there was another double meeting us as we all took off. There was one opportunity to lock through from noon till 6:30, because I left La Crosse at 6:30, and that double that was coming up was just leaving the lock.
Wow.
That is
One
tough.
gap.
That is tough, because it's almost like down there. I know after the first tournament I ever fished there, we were like, all right, we're gonna find stuff in practice on, if we're gonna lock up, we need to have at least 2 spots down here, basically. Because it was like, eventually it's gonna happen, and it did. And like, as long as you have somewhere you can, well, I mean, if you don't get through, you don't get through, obviously. But like, because that sounds like it was just a clusterfuck, because it was just all day. Like, normally it's not like that, but
no.
I mean, it sucks that it times out that way, but yeah. But
like,
there's nothing
sucked
you can do
because I had a bunch of people asking me about the locks in practice, and I had told them like, hey, I've fished, I don't know, probably 20 tournaments on the river at this point in my life, and I've never really seen it be an issue. Like, maybe you look at the app and you're like, oh, there's going to be one there at 3, so I'll make sure I go back at 1. Whatever, like that, you still fish for most of the day on your pool. You just had to leave a little early. I never seen one where like we got up at 9, you looked at the app and you were like, I have 2 hours. If I want to safely get back, if I want to gamble, I have all day, but I might actually be completely screwed.
Right. Whether you have a spot somewhere else or not. It's like, if you physically can't go through the lock, like, I mean, that's it. Like, there's nothing you can literally do about it.
I heard a lot of the local guys saying that was the worst, like, barge traffic locking situation they've ever seen in a tournament before. They said it was bad.
100%. That was terrible.
I will give credit to, I wish I could remember who it was, but someone on stage said, like, I want to give a shout out to the lock operators. Like, we know you were doing the best you can, which is true. Like, I feel bad for them. They're just doing their job. And so many of the guys that were with us were trying to get in with the barge to lock through with them. And it's like, those things just float in the middle. Like, if it starts, like, you're getting crunched, dude. Yeah. Like, so, I mean, they're just doing their job, right? It's out of their control, but dang, it just sucks.
Yeah, it totally sucks. Like, I'm with Maggie in the sense where, like, you can't control it or change it, but it's just like, I saw all those dudes posting on Instagram too, and all our, just different buddies that we knew fishing the tournament, that it's like, oh, so much practice and effort, and then you actually capitalize and catch them, and then you just don't make it back. And it was like totally almost kind of like out of your control. It's not like I don't know, you put yourself on a sandbar, you did this. It's just like there's just a damn barge rolling through it. Just horrible.
Yeah. You just had to be there 5 minutes earlier. And it's like, God, that one cast I made, I shouldn't have done it. I should have turned around and left, or whatever that is. But I was going to say, Maggie, you said the sand in practice. That's all I did in the tournament. I just fished sand. And I knew they move a shitload. They always do, especially this time of year. But you just knowing going in, I'm fishing sand, and 70% of my spots are going to be terrible, and I'm going to have to relocate them. but at least you have a starting pin of like, they were around here. So they're somewhere over here now. That's basically what I did the whole tournament. But yeah, this time of year, they get really hard on sand, sand drops, stuff like that. They're just pulling out of the thick, heavy vegetation.
Yeah, none of my pros during the tournament really did a ton of that, but yeah, in practice, all of our quality fish came off. Like if you could find a solid sand drop, they were there. It seemed like, and I mean, not that that's surprising, but I still would have thought we'd be able to catch more quality fish off of like wing dams and whatnot. And like we were catching some, but they were just small. It seemed like, and from the chatter I heard, Doc Talk, right? A lot of the guys were saying that you'd find one out of every like 20 wing dams that had like the quality fish. You just have to figure out which ones they were. But I mean, how long does that take, right?
Well, yeah, they move. It's the same thing as a sand. Those fish move up to eat and then they leave. So it's just knowing going in, I'm going to hit 50 spots today. And at some point in the time, I will run into them, but there's going to be no rhyme or reason really to it until you find an area that's good. That was my theory anyways, but yeah, good old lacrosse. But anyways, do you have anything else lined up for the rest of the year? Or we'll have you back on sometime soon to check in. I mean, I'm sure you got some fall stuff rolling in, some hunting.
And I want to know, would you do the co-angler thing again?
Yeah, you know, I've been talking a lot about that because I'm sure you guys have maybe been hearing the same rumors I have, which I won't get too into, but I like being a co-angler. I've had a lot of people talk to me about getting in a boat, which I want to do. And I mean, full transparency, I could have had a boat deal this year, and I think I probably should have done it. But as far as fishing the opens as like a pro, I'm just not there yet. Like I'm not comfortable, and it's not just me. Like if I have a co, like it's them too. You know, I don't feel like I was ready yet. I just don't have enough time behind the wheel. And the reason I say I should have at least gotten one is because I could have been spending more time behind the wheel, you know, to get ready for like next year or the year after that. And don't get me wrong, you know, I'll drive Andrew's boat, but I would just love to get in my own and start getting more comfortable because it's so easy as a co. Like, oh, why didn't you do well today? Go, oh, well, my boater wasn't on them, you know, blah, blah, blah. There's advantages of being a pro, right? Like there's a ton, but I think there's advantages of being a co too. Like when I was frogging day 2, my guy kept having to lift the trolling motor up, pull all the weeds off, you know, and I'm just in the back like you have no work, like you just show up and fish, right? So like I do think there's advantages, but I don't think, aside from the fact that you're getting experience and you're getting in the boat with different people and learning, I don't think you're learning a lot about, like I want to start having to make those decisions on my own and taking the water apart on my own a little bit more. So I don't know. I would absolutely be a co again. It's awesome, but like it doesn't end there for me, if that makes sense. Like I'm not content there forever.
What was your favorite tournament being a co at?
Out of the opens?
St. Clair. Yeah.
I was gonna say absolutely not St. Clair.
Really?
Oh no. Well, and like, okay, just for the record, if like either of my pros happen to see this, it's not because of them, but just one, I just didn't love St. Clair. Like if I'm fishing for smallmouth, I want to be fishing like rock and like whatever. Like I was so sick of sand and grass. Like I was so sick of it.
Stuck into the abyss. There might be one over there.
Oh yeah, I was so sick of it. So, but day 2, my guy made the run to Huron, which was an hour and a half. But I was in heaven, dude. I was in heaven. It was so cool. Just like these big rock shoals and just crystal clear water. We were you would just see like a big dark smelly swim in and just cast at it and ding, with like drop shots and one. Like that's what I like doing. That was so fun. So day 2 was awesome there. Leech, I don't know. I haven't had any pros that like I don't like, right? But Leech was really cool for me. 1, I got to fish with my buddy Sam, and then 2, day 2 I had Russ Lane, and he was really cool. Yeah, that was a really cool experience for me. And I hope he doesn't mind me saying this, but like he had a tough day when I was with him, but I really admired his like ability to just shake it off. Like, you know, you could tell he got frustrated, but he would just be like, well, you know, let's cast again. Like, try, like, I don't know. I felt like I learned a lot, and fishing with him was a really cool experience. And I'm probably biased with Leach because I did better at that one.
That's fair. At least you admit it.
Yeah. I don't know. I've had such a good experience at all of these, man. Like, and even if you don't have a good day, like, you learn what not to do, right? Like, it's the only way that you learn. And I'm so bummed that these are over. Like, I'm like, I have nothing to look forward to this year anymore, which isn't true, but like, I just want to be doing that all the time. Like, that's why I would love to get in my own boat, and I don't know. I want to do more. It's so fun.
It is fun. And it is cool that like you and Andrew kind of got to travel and do it together, because like just whether the tournament went great or you got a good draw or it came together, you get to like practice these fisheries, and like you guys kind of had a plan and like a way you thought it was going to go down or something you guys got keyed in on. And then I always thought, at least when I was a co, I thought it was super interesting. Like, you'll see pros almost like start this way or start doing this, and whether they catch them or not, you kind of at least know in your head, like, at some point in time, this was his shit. Like, this is what he thought it was going to go down the best on. And we didn't do any of that, or we never really looked at it. I thought that was always really an interesting part.
Yeah. Well, and just someone that's trying to learn, right? Like, pre-fishing with Andrew all week, I fish with him a lot. So like, I know how he fishes, but I still learn from Andrew all the time too. But watching him pick it apart, create his game plan, then I get to fish with 2 other people too. And like, see how they pick it apart, see their game plan, see what they're doing. Yeah. I think that's been really cool too. You know, I get in 3 different boats all week, which I know I'm really fortunate for. I'm sure a lot of co-anglers show up Wednesday or Thursday morning, right? To just, not everyone has that opportunity I do to get out and fish all week, which I'm thankful for. But I know there's pros and cons to both, but co-angling is cool. I know it's not for everyone, and I know a lot of the pros hate having a co, which I understand, but it is a cool experience. And I think it's such a good way for people to learn, like, as an entry level thing too, who want to become a pro or a boater someday. It's a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. Alrighty, boys.
Should we get the fresh meat out of here? Should we get the
fresh
Madtown
meat?
Mama
That's what it is. I was trying to remember the name of the segment.
Guys, I wanted to stay all night.
We'll have you on again
soon.
You
out, so when you come back, people are like hyped more.
Yeah,
exactly. Real quick, I didn't answer the question of this fall, but it's hunting season now, boys.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
It's hunting season. Let's go. Sobi, I almost wore that hat. Just came in the mail today. We would have been twinning.
You should have.
Oh my god.
We could have matched. We could have planned it out.
I know, it would have been cute. Next time.
All right, well, we need hunting updates next time you come back.
Yeah, we definitely
need Maggie.
Next pod, we're not talking about fishing when I come on.
Hunting.
Just hunting.
Perfect.
Hunting. Well, thank you. Seriously, thank you so much for popping on.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience about kind of Bassmaster and the opens and the co-angler stuff. It's like, that is not too many people get the opportunity to even experience an opens weigh in, let alone get to actually fish in one. And just for you to kind of open your insight about that, it's cool. So thank you so much.
Yeah, it's the most exciting chapter of my life so far. So I'll talk about it whenever you want. I appreciate you guys having me.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you, Maggie.
Thanks, Maggie.
Appreciate it.
Peace. And if you guys are not yet following Maggie Carsello, you could follow her on all our platforms. We'll link them down below in the description of this. But I think just her Instagram name right out the gate is Maggie Joe Outdoors. And yeah, definitely follow her. She's always up to shenanigans, to hardcore angling, to doing everything in every season throughout the year, whether it's hunting or bassing or ice fishing or doing anything outdoors. Maggie is like extremely active in this industry, and it's really fun to kind of watch her journey. So definitely follow her.
Yeah. All right. So now next we have got, this segment is literally just labeled Bart Sports on our document. I think that's another terrible segment name. We need to come up with a new segment.
They kind of both have been ones that you brought to the show.
Yeah.
No, I like it. I like it.
Did you listen to the last podcast, Sobi?
No,
Did you hear the newest segment?
I have.
I thought it was a really good one. Didn't you think, Pink? We haven't.
I thought the segment was great.
Yet.
I thought the name left a little to be desired.
What's the segment?
on the last news segment we did, I think it was 8 Instagram captions, and I had Alyssa read them, and then I played them for the guys, and they had to guess who made it. The success rate was extremely high, which is slightly concerning.
Yeah. Yeah, we were.
Two of them were pink.
Well, yeah, okay, and I obviously got my own right, but like, I am actually shocked how easily we got them.
It was slightly alarming. But yeah, new one.
Honestly, I want to go back and watch it. You could have said that Pink had the sweetest muskie story, or Bart had a crazy experience at the Opens, and I would be semi-inclined to like go back and listen. But just for the fact that Alyssa read off like Ryan or some of these guys' Insta captions, and they probably sound like out in the mud, greasing. Elk country, get it on. And for her to like read that's
I literally exactly how it played out, what it was. That was exactly how it played out.
I will be going back to listen to that.
The only one they didn't get right was the Scott Martin one. They didn't get that one.
And we knew it. We knew it too.
Yeah, it was good.
That's a 10 out of 10 segment. Please.
We'll do that again. So if people DM me they see them posted eventually. Like, it's all in good fun. It's a good nature. We're not really making fun of anyone with it. It's just if we can get them. If anyone finds a good one to read for Alyssa, send them to me and I'll keep a tab open. But now we got Bart Sports. It's finally the sports time of the year. We got everything rolling. This is my favorite time of year. I'm a huge sports fan, and I'm going to do this for everybody listening because I have to do it for myself. We're going to remind you that baseball is going on, and at this point in time, none of the season has really mattered till now. So if you want to bring yourself up to speed, I'm just going to answer a few questions for you. The current AL leaders are the Yankees, Guardians, not the Indians. They're the Cleveland Guardians now, Pink. I bet you didn't know that. And the Houston Astros are leading. And in the wild card, we've got the Orioles, Royals, and the Minnesota Twins are in a wild card spot actually right now, believe it or not.
We're closing in on bandwagon season then.
Yeah, we're getting right there. I'm just kind of prepping everybody for it. I'm letting people know what they need to follow in the, like bring you up to speed. It's been like 6 months. If
you'd like to get a jersey, now is the time.
Yeah, if you've been waiting, October baseball is great baseball. I love watching October baseball. But just so that you know, those are the teams you need to pay attention to. The Twins are 2.5 games ahead of the Detroit Tigers and Seattle Mariners right now for the last wild card spot. So little bit could change there in the AL, but for the most part, that's what you got going on in baseball. NL side, we got.
I gotta ask this now, just because last pod you dropped on us that the sports trifecta. How close are we to that?
Once hockey.
Okay, so we're waiting for the NHL still.
Yeah, we got NHL and basketball kickoff. Like October turns into craziness, but right now we got NFL going, college football going. We'll chat about that in a sec too, but yeah, I'm just catching people up to speed on baseball.
No, good. I'm just trying
you know what I mean? And nobody knows.
Like
everybody's ignored it for 5 months. So right now, there's trying to enlighten people. Yes, the Phillies, Dodgers, and Brewers are leading in the NL. And the wild card, we've got the Padres, Diamondbacks, and then the Braves and the Mets are actually tied for the wild card spot right now with a 5-game lead on the Cubs. So you got 2 weeks to be a baseball fan. So I just, thought I'd help out the folks. Just getting you up to speed. That's what you got going on. Nothing else from the past 5 months has mattered at all, actually, until right now. So that's what you got. Other than that, we can do our little State of the Unions here for football season because I know we have some Vikings fans and some Packers fans listening.
I want to jump.
What
do
you got, Sobi? What do you got?
I have a gripe against the MLB, to be honest, because their viewing options are so weird. Like, I pay fat stacks for YouTube TV, and obviously I'm like the mass majority. I don't have cable or anything like that, but I've got streaming services like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, and YouTube TV. I got all those, and we pay, every month for them. And then the MLB is like, no, for majority of our games, we're only on Bally Sports. We're only here. We might throw you one game on YouTube TV. So
you're just mainly talking about the Twins issues.
I am talking about the Twins, but maybe other folks from other states deal with that too. I just feel like the MLB, they've got their all rights.
The Twins battle, it's so hard, dude. I had no idea they were good this year until I looked at the standings like 2 weeks ago, and I was like,
I feel out of touch. I feel out of touch with the Twins, and that's like, and I'm blaming Bally Sports, MLB, and whatever contract they have written up that they can't get out of. I'm blaming that. All right, continue.
All right. All I was gonna say is we got some Vikings and Packers fans in the house. We can do our State of the Union addresses right now, since it'll be every 2 weeks. When we first started this, it was every week, and I felt like it was more fun for the sports part because we got to see the week-by-week swings. However, for my Vikings State of the Union, I think we might be good. And I just know what position I'm set up in right now. I'm going to believe in Sam Darnold.
Yes.
And I'm gonna have a Case Keenum thing happen to me. I can see it. Just they replay the old tapes for all us Minnesota sports fans, and it's setting up to be a doozy. But I will enjoy the ride. Our defense looks very, very, very good right now. They're fun to watch. We beat the 49ers with Justin Jefferson left the game early, so missing our second best receiver and our starting tight end. I'm feeling good about it. And I'm just happy to be back. Happy to be back having these conversations. And I will enjoy the Minnesota Vikings.
Game. Wouldn't you think
we kind of dominated them?
Game to the runners up in the previous Super Bowl. We kind of freaking control the game. Kind of shut Debo down. Kind of Kittle didn't absolutely go off on us. And JJ with the 99-yard touchdown reception. Get out of here.
97.
It was fun. It was 97, but it was fun. It was fun to watch. And we would have blew them out if Aaron Jones wouldn't have fumbled on like the 1 foot line. So other than that, it was great. I can't complain. Had a great time. Pink, how are the Packers?
Is our record? What's the Packers record? Then
I believe we are currently the best. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Yeah. So I mean, Packerland, things are still happening. I mean, Jordan Love goes down week 1. Unfortunate. He'll be back. We got Malik Willis in there right now. I mean, we got the dub. What can I say? We got the dub this week. We'll take
Ran the ball 52 times, I saw.
Oh,
it was incredible, actually.
A dub.
They were like, we're going to run the ball, and we're going to run the ball, and we're still going to beat you running the ball.
Which is fine. And, from what I've seen, all I know is that the Vikings are going to have significant heartbreak this year. The Packers are going to be back, and the Bears still suck. So that's where I'm at with the whole thing.
We'll see where the Lions wash out in all this. You can't hate the Lions, No, they are what they are.
Everybody's kind of got to love the Lions a little bit.
But I mean, I do think you guys are setting yourself up for tremendous heartbreak, which is nothing new for Vikings fans, but it's coming. And I'm not really concerned. I'm excited to watch the ride, though. I think the Packers first half of their season is going to be similar to a lot of other ones where everything's going to look in shambles. And then, about week 6 or 7, things are really going to be clicking.
Slow burn, per se.
I would say per usual.
What happened yesterday with Mrs. Rogers, an old Packer great? Did she play good?
I believe honestly, they won. Yes.
I think
they won. I didn't pay that much attention. But I'm still not in full-blown NFL season.
Did Aaron play good? Because I watched him week 1. Wasn't he on Monday Night Football?
Oh, and they lost. They got dusted, right? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He looked like absolute drama queen.
He looked pretty old. Good move by the Packers.
Excellent move. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. They can stay healthy. Not worried about it.
That's your Bart Sports update. We'll get more into it as the season gets rolling. However, Sobi, I'll let you introduce our guest here.
Oh,
hopefully his audio works and everything. But we got a legendary one for you guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, no introduction needed. This absolute Iowa herd bull of an Opens pro and a hunting freak, Chancy Walters, ladies and gentlemen. Chancy Walters.
Welcome to the pod.
Unbelievable. Heck yeah. You boys. I didn't even know you get, I don't feel bad, but I don't listen to podcasts much. I've done a couple of them, but I didn't even know you guys were doing this. It's kind of cool.
We're the number one outdoors podcast in the world, Chancy. And welcome. You're on it,
man.
You did it.
Star of the show right now.
The good thing is we like to keep it loose and have a good time. So we're going to have a great time with you, Chancy, because I know that's what you're all about.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, I try to have a good time at all time. You know that, boys.
So, yeah, Chancy, I don't know how we even describe to the listeners who Chancy Walters is, because he's a man of many talents. He's a man of many passions. But Chancy, give us a 30-second elevator talk of who Chancy Walters is. Don't be humble, because you've done amazing things on all sides of the outdoor spectrum.
Man, I'm just living, chasing my dream, living like there's no tomorrow. That's a fact. I've always lived that way. I just love doing what I want to do. My wife, she's either figure it out or get a haircut and get a real job. But we're gonna keep grinding, boys. I mean, I'm having a blast. I don't know how. I mean, shit, dude, I could die tomorrow. We're gonna keep rocking and rolling. That's how I live. Hell, you live the same way, all you rascals.
Yeah,
absolutely.
We're the same way. We're all doing it the same way. So, Chancy, before we dive into this podcast, has had way too much fishing talk over the last several months. Big reason we wanted to chat with you. I am self-admittedly not a big hunter out of this group. I do not partake in the hunting.
You hunt bass, bud. You hunt bass.
Yeah. See, look at the Chancy knows how to make me feel good.
It's the same type of deal. It's just, they're under the water.
So I want you to dive into, for our listeners, and Pink and Sobi will be able to dive into this a bunch with you, because Pink's a huge, he does it all. But so how did you get into doing Whitetail Adrenaline, the whole deal? Like, how the heck did you get started just being in Iowa and being like, I'm going to go do this and just be a straight up badass with it?
And then to build off Bart's question, I'd really like to know kind of your background, who introduced you to hunting? And then when did you just become obsessed with it? When did you get a sick bug in your gut where you're like, I'm gonna do this forever, and a lot of it?
Yes, I you know what, hunting, TNN Outdoors, you guys, I'm 40. I turned 40. When do I turn 40? Sunday, I think. And so I'm a little older than you boys. You guys are still young pups, ain't you? What are you all, 28 to 34?
We're in that prime range where you feel older every year.
We still click the first button in the poll.
No, you're still young herd bulls, just getting ready to, get down into the herd. No, I'm literally, TNN Outdoors. My dad, he never hunted, he hunted back in the day when he was younger, but he never took me hunting. I had an uncle and a friend's dad that kind of took me out a couple times, and oh man, it only took one time, and I'm like, holy shit, this is I'm into this. I'm straight Cherokee. From here on out. I love hunting, man. I mean, I love all species of hunting. I love to hunt deer. My first deer I ever killed was a doe, and I was walking up. It was during shotgun season. We have a shotgun season in Iowa, and I was walking, doing a little deer drive, pushing deer to these guys, and I look over, and there's these two big old horse-headed does, just magnum, big giant heads on them, and I just, holy shit! And they were like 30 yards, and I swung the bird barrel 20 gauge bird barrel, but back in the day, slid that thing on her. I'm like, they took off running. I'm like, shit, I missed. Well, I didn't miss. I double lunged her and she ran. I walked over there and blood was all over the snow. But yeah, that was my first deer experience. That was pretty crazy. That's what got me fired up on deer hunting. I'm like, and it was just a doe, but I was so jacked. We ate.
How old were you at that time?
Dude, I was young, like 13, 14. I don't know.
Yeah.
I had a tag. I know it was legal. So no, it was a good time. When I met Jared years ago, I used to travel around and do the hunting shows, and I'd sell my artwork. Well, I started doing those feather paintings. I don't know, you've seen them.
I heard about that during Teal's podcast. So explain that a little bit for Pinkalla and Sobi.
So I'm wildlife artist. That's my real gig. I ain't making no money fishing these damn bass tournaments. I know that, but we're just, pay the entry fees and to go have a good time and chase a dream is pretty much what we're doing right now, and donating money. But what I do on the everyday basis is I'm painting. So I'll take a turkey fan. Each turkey fan has, 10 to 12, 15 good feathers on it. And they're about, where's the lens? About that wide. So probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 inches wide, and there's usually a few good ones in there that are good enough to paint on. And I actually clear coat those with a flat clear spray paint, and it gives me a good canvas to paint on. And I've been painting them things since 2003, and I've painted thousands of them.
They look sweet, dude. Like,
yeah,
they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
And one thing that I've realized Chancy does so much, like your artwork, it can be so personalized. Like clients can come to you and be like, if they have a family pet or a dog, like the work that you do and the art you do, it can be so personalized to your customers. And I even saw on Instagram the other day, you've got some potential openings if people wanted to get something before Christmas or stuff like that. So definitely follow Chancy Walters on his Instagram. I think it's just Chancy Walters.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, we
in contract.
Yeah, they're fun to paint. I'd rather paint big stuff. I'm kind of getting wore out on the feather painting, but it pays the bills and keeps me going to the next adventure. But yeah, Jared. So back to that. I was traveling these hunting shows, and I would set up a 10x10 booth. And this is when I was trying to sell the feathers. I'd paint like 10 pheasant ones, 10 deer ones, a bunch of cardinals and shit for the ladies. I was single. Yeah. I was selling some artwork to the. They don't be fooled. But I did some of that, and I met Jared, and it was funny because I've told the story quite a few times, but I'm walking through the damn show and just seeing what was, seeing who's here, seeing what, booths and, just checking it out, scouting it out, bud, side scanning the show, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm going up through there, and all of a sudden I look over, and there's this pretty good looking blonde sitting behind the booth. And I'm like, oh, what she got going on? So I go over there, like, what
you like Cardinals?
Or anything, right? But anyway, I slid over there, and I'm like, hey, what's going on? And there's this little DVD playing. What was Jared's first DVD? And he had this little, just a 10x10 booth. And
what year was this?
This was, dude, I long time ago, 17 years ago. I don't know, long time ago. It was his first year they did it. I should know that, but I don't. And I'm sitting there talking to her, kind of flirting with her or whatever. And she's kind of smiling the whole time. And I don't know if she was into it or not. And all of a sudden, Jack in the Box, Jared's below the booth. He was down there organizing shit. He comes up behind the booth. He heard me hitting on his chick, which I never said anything appropriate, but it was just funny how he just bebopped up. And Jared, I've never met this kid before. I mean, it looked like the dude off of ShamWow. Remember that? He popped up and he's sitting there looking at me. I'm like, oh shit. Hey, what's up, man? What do you got going on? Anyway, he's laughing, giggling, and we became really good friends. He was just, when you meet people, you're just like, man, I can jive with that dude. And he's on my page. He's not boring. I can hang out with this dude and have a good time. And we hit it off, and we hit those shows, and I would sell my artwork, and he was doing the DVDs, and he kept asking me, hey, Chance, you ought to start film with me. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not really into that shit. I was dabbling on film myself, but he was doing the public. I'm like, I got some good private ground. I ain't gonna go jack around on no public ground. And finally I lost a lot of ground that I was hunting, which it was nosebleed, knock on door permission. And I wasn't food plotted up, and I wasn't, hunting real good areas. It was just better than public, I thought.
Yeah.
And he finally just said, and I started losing some ground. I was kind of like, you know what, hell with it. He's like, you ready or what? And I was like, let's do it. Anyway, he's like, I'll throw the best damn cameraman on you. Follow you. I'm like, that's the first thing I told him. I said, listen, I can't have no half-ass shit when I'm chasing these deer. I want to be able to not have to babysit the cameraman when I'm on these deer, and you're on public. So it's hard, and you're on the ground. It's like everything's against you. So It's like, I need to have a dude that is dialed, and I've had the best cameraman in the world, man. I've got Matt Zanell. He's filmed all of Shockey stuff across the world. This dude, he's already dialed in. Like, I don't have to tell him, and that's what you got to have when you're hunting big bucks on the ground. Tree stand's different. You're up there, you can hang their shit up, and they're up in there. The deer's not looking up. As long as they know somewhat when to move and when not to move, you're good. But when on the ground, shit does not buff out when you're on the ground. You mess up one time, it's gone. You know what I'm saying? So him, and then got my new guys, TC, that's filming me now. Matt's so busy doing other stuff, and TC is dialed. He's like Matt's protege. I mean, he is. I trust him everywhere we go, but he's the new guy that films me, and he is awesome. I'm looking forward to getting back out there and killing a big bastard this fall. I know you boys are.
Like, how many days are you putting in on these? Because I know you guys spend a ton of time out there, but it's like like you got this guy following you around, you're just hammering down. Like, how are you spending? I mean, I don't know how many states you're in. You're just doing like Iowa for sure.
I just listen. Everybody's asking, man, you need to come to South Dakota. You need to go to Kentucky. You need to do all this. Listen. I like to duck hunt too, and I like to. December is my big month for my artwork to get my shit out before Christmas. So I can't do nothing in December. So that's usually when I used to duck hunt. So I duck hunt in January, but so I'm trying to like orchestrate to do everything. I need to just, I try to fit it all in. But the deer hunting, I spend from Halloween. This is pretty much when I dedicate myself to deer hunt. Jared puts a cameraman on me from around Halloween to Thanksgiving. I dedicate that time to kill 2 big bucks is my goal. And I usually hunt Iowa and Kansas. I don't draw Kansas every year, but I'm a resident from Iowa, so I can get a tag every year. But yeah, Kansas is, I love hunting out there. It fits the style that we do. There's some different open areas. All of Kansas is good. All of Iowa is good. But yeah, I mean, the public out there is really good. And, it takes literally, there's times like literally to answer your question, I've been out there 10 to 12, 20 days driving daylight to dark and not even see anything over 130, 140. And that's public, private, just, you go hop your ass in a vehicle during the rut and just start cruising. It'll blow your hair back how many damn deer you see, because usually you're in the tree stand. You're not seeing all the movement, so it's like a mobile tree stand. So you get to really see what's moving. But Kansas is, the first day you go out there, you can spot a big one, slide in there and kill his ass. But what's cool, every second you're out there, you don't see one. You could turn the next corner to go down the road and you're going to look over and you're going to see a damn 180 breeding a doe on the fence line, and it's battle time. You know what I mean? So you just got to have that confidence and just keep grinding, man. It's just like a fishing, you can go a long time without getting a good, a bite or whatever. Just, you got to think it's coming or else you're wasting your time mentally,
Yeah.
It's definitely.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say just real quick, guys, before you jump in. So Chancy, explain to like someone like me, for example, and maybe some of our other listeners who aren't diehard into this, like you're talking about being on the ground and everything. Walk me through, like, what are you doing that's different than what other people maybe see on YouTube or whatever, tree stands or stuff like that? Like, I know you specialize in, you're on the ground. You're like spot and stock, correct?
Yeah. So
and before you go into that, Chancy, I want to build off Bart's question. I want you to talk about, when did you start hunting on the ground? Like when Jared said, "Are you ready to go?" Like before this, when you had your private, like were you hanging stands or were you getting mobile and being on the ground?
I hunted. I had tree stands. I hunted out of a little lone wolf. I had that little hang on. I had me some screw steps, and I would get into the best tree in the bad spot. Is how I would always play it. Like, sometimes the best spots don't have a good tree. Well, I'd make shit happen. I'd get way up in somewhere, or I'd get down. The trees sometimes were skinny, but I would get in there and make that happen. But I started out, my first deer I ever killed was on the ground. This is no shit. I drove out. I was watching these deer on this hillside. It was like mid-October, and I seen this buck, and it was going down over this hill, but I could tell it was going to go to this ditch. So I hopped on the damn truck, ran down the ditch, plopped down in the horse weeds there. And I'm like, this son of a bitch is going to come by me sooner or later. He was headed that way. And all of a sudden he was up on the hill, and I grunted at him, and he come down there. I drew my bow back. I was shooting a Fred Bear, Black Bear plastic, had the plastic cams like a Walmart bow with a 55 pounds or whatever it was. And I let that damn aluminum arrow go. This is back in the aluminum arrow days, boys. Orange and green fletching. I was shooting a 3 or 4 blade muzzy broadhead with a chisel tip. This deer is 10 yards, I think. Now that I'm kind of like, how far was it? It was 10 yards. I put it behind his shoulder and I hit this son of a bitch square in the ass cheek. I swear, and like 10 ringed right in the ass. And that thing took off. I'm like, holy shit. That thing ain't gonna live, or that thing's gonna live, And I'm like, I started cracking. I hit the damn main vein on that thing, and it's deader in the graveyard. But anyway, what the hell? It was crazy. But yeah, so my first deer I ever killed on the ground. Then I started hunting tree stands and killed a lot of big bucks that way. And then when I started hunting with Jared, I knew we were going to be hunting on the ground, and I already knew that it fit my game. I kind of already knew that I could do it. I felt confident in it, and we started lacing shit. but it was good, man. There's just something fun about on the ground. It's just very
yeah.
Well, and I think like the way you guys make your videos too, like it's really fast paced. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that gets people hyped to watch it and gets them fired up about hunting.
And that's how I am. I mean, Sobi, you'd be
but
good at that shit.
But I mean, because I want to say the first Whitetail Adrenaline I remember seeing was like some Kansas deal. You guys shot some freaking giant one with a long bow. You know, it was just like ridiculous. And I think that was the first time ever. It was probably some like pirated DVD that like we definitely didn't buy from you guys.
That's all good.
And but like I think what's cool about it, because you guys kind of just got this like deer gangster vibe thing going when you're out there shooting, but like everyone's doing like way more YouTube, way more of this, and you're like, no, DVDs, and people are like, it could probably only be a couple hours. You're like, no, 14 hours.
Oh,
that's how long this DVD is.
It's like a series, you know, if you go buy a damn Yellowstone, you know, I mean, that's how we're kind of treating it. Jared's got some pretty cool stuff, dude. The stuff that we've done, I've been doing it now for maybe 9 years with him now, maybe somewhere in there. The first year was the year that you're talking about I filmed Jared kill the biggest typical ever on film with a longbow. I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
On film. And especially on public for sure, which was that was a crazy hunt. It was Defiance. If you ever want to look that one or, you know, get that one, the Defiance DVD. I was just, the whole hunt was just, I look back at it and I was like the most, like that was just meant to be, man. Just the weird shit that happened. It would be almost like Jared winning a damn Bassmaster Open. That's how like everything's aligned for him. There was nothing that went wrong the whole time. Everything was just setting up perfect, except for, you know, hitting in the kneecap. But I mean, dude, it built the story down. We figured out where it was at and just all that stuff.
And you can't write it. I think that's something that's so incredible, especially about filming hunting, is like, you know, it's a million variables. Like you can script stuff up or talk about a game plan as much as you want, but then it never goes down how you think it's going to go down. I think that's the magic behind these DVDs and just filming hunting in general. Like that's incredible.
Yeah, it is.
But dude, you got, I mean, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No. I wasn't going to say nothing. Go.
Oh, I was just going to say, all the Whitetail Adrenaline stuff sick, but like you guys are out hunting like all the time, not just for that, not just deer. You know what I mean? Like you guys are mowing stuff down constantly.
Yeah.
Like I saw you did like an Africa trip this year.
Dude, that was the craziest thing of all time. I was very blessed to go on that trip. I didn't have the money to go on that trip. My buddy, he's been inviting me for years. One of my best friends. He was my best man at my wedding, Carlos, and he's been kind of like a promoter for me in my artwork ever since I was a young kid. And he took me under his wing, and I ran all of his, like, I'd take all of his big high-end clients hunting in Texas. And this is all, you know, fenced in stuff for exotics and shit. Built a good relationship with him. He's one of my best friends, man. I mean, just an awesome dude. We've done a lot of fishing and hunting together. And he invited me multiple times. He's been there 13 years. And he's asked me like 5 or 6 times to go. And I just, timing and just shit didn't work out. And I didn't think Africa would be my deal, really, to tell you the truth. But I get there. I took him up on it. He says, this is my last time. I'm probably going to go, Chance. You need to not jack around and not, you need to take me up on this opportunity. I got it. I'm taking care of everything, you know, and he's got the peso to do it. You know, he can do whatever he wants. He's like, Chance, I don't give a shit. I want you to be there. And I went. And you're like, I'm in. I mean, and it was crazy. And I didn't tell my wife, like, let me tell you something. Well, I told her I was going to, but I didn't tell her. Dinner's almost done. Where are you at? Africa. I was at a no kidding. Don't do this. I was on my way to a bass tournament, and Carlos called me. He said, "Are you in or are you out? I got to get these damn these tickets booked." And I'm like, "Shit." Well, I'm on the way to a tournament. I don't want to call my wife and discuss this when I want to focus on this tournament. So I'm just like, I'll talk to her when I get back home, right? Well, don't do that when you're married, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, just like the dude on Instagram, how would he say it? Go to Africa and don't tell your wife, be a man. You know that guy? Be a man. Be a man. That guy is funny. Yeah, she wanted to kill me, but it was one of those deals where, you know, I made so many connections, and it was an amazing trip. Killed a bunch of stuff, and it was all bow. I bow hunted everything. Built my own blinds. If you ever want to go, let me know. I got the place. This place is so amazing, and everything I killed, I like did my own thing. You know what I mean? There was no goofy shit going on. Like I built my blinds next to these little watering holes. I'd sit out there from daylight to dark, dude. I didn't want to leave because in Africa, you know, and here in the States, we're just hunting damn one deer. You know, we're hunting deer. We're not seeing other type of animals. And in Africa, you're seeing shit like, what in the hell is that? I need to bring a damn book out here and like flip through the pages. What the hell species is that? And that's and that's the kind of the vibe. And it was just an amazing experience. I would go back. Africa is a badass place to be.
What was there had to have been like, was there like one standout, like something wild that happened that you were like not prepared for? I just feel like that's the kind of place where like shit happens.
It is. There's some crazy shit that goes down there. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff that went down there. Did you see that damn cheetah I hung out with? Did you? I
saw the little video clip of it. Yeah.
Dude, no, I didn't see that video.
They have a damn cheetah that they. So the baboons are bad sons of guns. I mean, they kill everything. Everything hates baboons. Baboons can kill a damn anything. I mean, they'll hop on a damn giraffe and tackle that sumbitch down, and it's done. I mean, who knows?
Come on, dude.
But they kill. I don't know if they do or not. But all I know is every animal species is damn freaks out around a herd of baboons. You know, you get a herd of them things, they will gang up on you. And I will tell you, this is no kidding. So I'm out there, and he's like, "Man, we got this damn leopard or this cheetah that we raised since it was a baby. The mom got killed by a group of baboons." I'm like, I got to see this shit. Like this thing's running around down there. Like cheetahs have always. I'm not damn Tiger King, but I have always been fascinated by damn cheetahs. How fast they run. When I was a little kid, I was always, you know, when you'd want to do like a write up on an animal, it was, I mean, a cheetah.
Yeah.
It was a badass animal. And anyway, so I got to this place and I got to like get up there, and he's like, be careful. Like, don't try to pet it. If it wants to let you pet it, it'll come up and kind of rub up next to you like a house cat. Well, that son of a bitch come up to me, and I'm telling you, it was very, like, I was pretty calm in the video, but it looked like, but I was like damn nervous as shit. This thing can grab me by the back of the neck and carry my ass to the top of the tree if it wants.
Oh, 100%.
Double lunged up there. But I pet this thing, and it was amazing, dude. This thing was like licking me and shit. I don't know. It was just, that was a cool experience. Like killing shit, hunting, you know, the animals are cool, but man, there's something about having that damn, you know, that cheetah right there next to you, and you're petting the fucking cheetah. I'm like, this is
you almost probably had to slap yourself and be like, is this
like,
it
was. And I'm like, film this shit now, like film it. I was telling these guys, and they're just like sitting there and man, I'm like, get to document this shit. Nobody's gonna believe my ass. God, you know what I mean?
Fucking Chancy's crazy. Came back, said he petted a cheetah.
Yeah,
it was mushrooms for 10 days.
Exactly. Yeah, they would have really been thinking I was on something.
Oh my god.
So to back off some of the hunting stuff, when did you get into art, and who got you into art, or was that just your own personal passion? And then when did you really get into painting in general?
Yeah, that's a good deal. So my dad was an artist. He was an amazing. So before my dad, this is what he was an old school pinstriper. So he would do, before stickers and vinyl and all that shit you see on vehicles, race cars and all that, my dad literally was one of the guys that would paint everything. He would paint all the lettering. That shit there was no stickers.
That's crazy.
And so you think about that, a lot of that stuff was paint, and my dad was that type of guy that did that. And so he had that genetic trait. It was good art. Art is genetic. It's just like singing. I'd say this all the time. Singing, you can't just all of a sudden be a shitty singer and then all of a sudden, man, you're badass. You got to have it genetically. And I was blessed, and I was able to, you know, do art. Like I can see something and draw it. And I just got lucky with that genetic trait, just like singing, you know, I can't sing very good.
When did you sell your first painting?
You know, so my first time I always drew. I always sketched and, you know, and drew like charcoal and stuff like that. But then when I started art school or art class, this is actually kind of crazy. So I didn't like to pay attention in school. Okay. I wanted to kind of get the hell out of there, and I wanted to go hunting and fishing, and I wanted to learn what I wanted to learn. You know, a lot of shit that they teach you in school that you don't really need. Look back at it. And I was a smart ass. And I just like, not smart in school smart, but I was just always like, man, I don't need to learn this shit. This is stupid. I always thought I was ahead of the damn game, you know? And anyway, I wasn't far off now that I look back at it.
Now I look back at it, I was completely right.
Right. That's right. I said it was going to be like the Jetsons, and I'm not damn far off. But anyway, the crazy part is I didn't want to join art class because I needed that damn date or that class to get a credit for something else. Art, you don't get no credit for it. So I'm like, I don't need to be jacking around painting and shit when I need to be like using another class to try to get enough points to even graduate. And my art teacher was pissed. She knew that I was an artist, and she's like, you're not joining my art class. And I said, listen, all fun and games, but I'm not painting damn fruits and shapes and all that stupid shit. And I don't need to know. If I'm going to paint, I want to paint what the hell I want to paint. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not going to sit in there and paint a damn grapefruit and an apple and an orange and wow, here we go. That's just a waste of my time. I didn't really want to do that. And out of respect, I just didn't want to deal with all that. Well, she's like, listen, I'll let you paint whatever the hell you want. I'll give you an A. You just help me out with the other classmates. And every day you can draw and paint what you want. And I'm like, holy shit, that's a pretty good deal. And I started doing that. And that was the first time I started painting, like literally. Wow. Was an art class. And I would have never painted probably. Like I was just drawing, and I always knew that I could. I just never, that was kind of my stepping stone to like make shit happen. I started building some big paintings, and yeah, that's where the painting started, my junior year of high school.
Dude, your parent teacher conferences must have been wild.
Yeah, they all wondered what the hell was going on for sure. But my dad, you know, he's an old, you know, painting hippie, and he golfed every day. And my mom, she's just an amazing one. I was raised very, very amazing. My mom and dad, my mom she did everything for us kids, and she didn't care about what she had going on. It was all about me and my sister, and very blessed in that part. But my dad, he was he was ornery, but he's no longer with us now. But yeah, he lived a hell of a life. I'm going to tell you something right now.
And that's so cool. He used to do kind of the old school pinstriping, because that's something you don't think about nowadays. Like obviously like graphics and detail, like decals are so nice, but like back in the day, like that's not a thing.
Yeah. I would travel around with him, and we'd go on like a weekend tour, and we'd go and we'd paint all these race cars and shit. Because, you know, think about all these race cars and stuff nowadays. I don't know if you guys are into racing, but those are just wraps and stuff on them now. Back then, my dad, he'd paint 50 to 60 cars a year. And we'd travel around, and he would paint the cars, and that was pretty cool. I mean, stickers weren't even thought of; they weren't even invented.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy to think about, you know.
Yeah, paint your decal on your truck.
Yeah,
let's put your numbers on it, or your your company name on your semi. He'd done tons of semi trucks. You see all those semi trucks driving down the road. All that shit's with vinyl now. My dad had to paint them damn fleets of stuff.
Wow.
So he had a hell of a gig going, but yeah.
Chancy, I have a challenge for you, and it might potentially even bring you out of an artistic rut. Like you said, you've been getting burnt out kind of on painting feathers and stuff like that. I'm sure you've done so many of them. I've got some aunts who are incredibly talented at painting as well, but my grandma on my mom's side was extremely talented at painting, and she had she wasn't a hunter, but she had a wicked love for the outdoors and wildlife. And she used to do a ton of these and sell some of them, mainly gift a lot of them, but she'd go out and she'd find, you know, different rocks and stuff like that, and then kind of paint, almost 3D paint animals on these rocks. So like she'd maybe find a small little rock like about this size and paint like a fawn bedded up like that. So I'll have to send you some of these pictures, dude. It was incredible.
That's neat.
Your style and your passion, your love, I think it would translate into this, and it would be a new challenge that you'd just be like, oh, dude, I could do that. And I would crush some of this, whether it be little rabbits or owls or deer. It was so cool. So freaking cool.
Yeah, that would be, I'd dabble with, I think I painted on a rock one time back in the day. I used to paint on like deer skulls. I painted on pieces of wood, you know. I mean, just making shit happen growing up, you know. Now I'm just kind of like, I'll paint on anything that somebody wants, I'll paint. But like right now I'm so damn backed up. Like I'm very blessed, you know, with my feather paintings. I get an order a day probably.
Yeah, those are good problems to have, though. Good problems.
That's a good, yeah. Like, I'm not trying to, like, back in the day when I met Jared, like I was saying, man, I had to like try to sell stuff and I would do good. But now it's like, I just, from word of mouth and people getting one and they see one. And after painting a few thousand of them, it's like, they hear about it. And yeah, the people, when I paint people's dogs and people's dogs are very, you know, you love your damn dogs and your animals. And that's just a very special gift for somebody that just lost their dog or somebody's big buck or whatever, you know. I mean, I painted everything.
Do you I mean, I know like wildlife art is like great. Like there's so many people that do it so many different ways. Like, are there other people that you like, I don't know, follow or watch like how they're doing things? Or you just kind of do your thing and kind of head down and go?
Yeah, I kind of just do my own thing. Like I didn't take no art classes. I kind of just learned it all on my own. Art's that way though. You can learn techniques, which I would like in the future here. I'd go like, you know, hang out with somebody that I feel is like an amazing artist and go and learn some little techniques that maybe I'm like, holy shit, man, that's how you do that. Okay. And that'd be fun. But I mean, I'm sure they're not going to give that away, you know. So, yeah, it's not going to be cheap, but it'd be fun to go just do that and shit. Maybe they're just cool with me coming in and helping, you know, or watching them or whatever. Yeah. There's a couple artists that I've seen on Instagram that are just like, man, it's just unbelievable. They spend so much time, but it's like, man, but they make good money doing it, you know.
Is there something that you've never painted on or a project you can envision in your head where you're like, if I had somebody that just contracted me to do this and it was totally worth your time financially and it would just scratch the itch of utmost passion, is there anything that you can come to head, like painting a full elk skull with its antlers or anything that you're just like, dude, I've always wanted to do this, but obviously it maybe wouldn't make sense?
I'll tell you what I've always wanted to do is I want to paint what the hell I want to paint. That's
what do you want to paint?
Hard to do when you're trying to make a living, because obviously I got a bunch of buddies that are going to call me idiots, and I want to bet. They've always told me, you know, hey, you need to paint 10 big giant paintings and do get a studio, and then you can travel to these big shows like the SCI and set up and sell these things for, you know, 20 to 60,000 a pop, and I've sold some big paintings for good money, and that's what I like doing. But as an artist, to make a living doing this, I've been painting to get by, you know, like I get these feather orders that pays the bills, but I want to kind of like put a limit to the feathers so I can focus on my big shit and build these big masterpieces of these visions that I have to build a big painting, sell the original, and then I can have prints off of those other stuff, but off of that big painting and sell those things for big money. I mean, I know some guy, you know, I've sold some paintings for 5,000 to 10,000, but these guys are selling them for 50 to 60 to 80 grand a pop. And it's like, man, I could do one of them a month, you know, let's do it.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's do it.
Like now, dude, hey, think of this. I mean, these opens, boys, I'm telling you, like I round up enough sponsors to be able to like do them, but I'm telling you right now, whether you round up the amount or not, like I got probably, you know, I'm gone 110, 120 days a year, not making money. You know, you're practicing, fishing, traveling. And it's like, holy shit, you start 110 days of work. Let's just say 100. That's
where you make nothing.
Yeah, but I'm chasing a dream, dude. I would. This has been a dream of mine. I thought I was in these opens. I thought it was going to go a lot smoother. I thought it was going to be more of a cakewalk for me, and it is the most humbling damn thing I started out good, and then just the success wasn't coming, and I've had a lot of lost opportunities, and it's mentally just like drove me wild here. I don't know. It's crazy. Like I'm around the deal every time. It just seems like something happens. I lose a key fish, and then I'm just like, it's hard to come back from that shit, man. It's unbelievable. But I mean, just like the last one, did you get stuck in the lock?
I was up on pool 7, but I wasn't due in until
you left in that
450.
Okay.
No,
so,
I was in the group at 345.
Okay, you went in after us. Yeah, we were locked in at but it took us 3.5 hours getting that lock, and I thought it was supposed to be. Oh, dude, I wanted freak out, dude. I was like, man, and I had a good bag going, and I just, as soon as I knew I wasn't going to make it, I was like, there was 2.5 hours of fishing that I could have had, and I had a 2.5 pounder. I could have got up to 15.5, 16 something, and I'm just like, this is stupid. You know, I was bummed because it was like I haven't damn cashed a check in forever, and it was like, man, this tournament was like everything I was doing right, and I just stupid, man.
God, then you run into a triple at the pool 7 lock.
Oh, dude, it was just, and that dude, I guarantee you, them some bitches were like, hey, you know, let's make these punks wait. You know, I'll guarantee you, them boys don't like bass fishermen. I'm just telling you right now. And they knew. They looked down there and they seen my fucking long-haired, skinny ass. Like, that little bastard, we ain't letting him through. He looked like a punk.
You look like a punk.
We just had Maggie on here, and she was like, "Oh, I felt so bad for everybody," and you're like, "Fuck those guys."
No, I'm talking about the lock guys. I like everybody who was in there.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. The guys at the lock, they can kiss my ass. I don't really. Dude, we were there. I called the guy. This is why I'm pissed.
Those pool 7 guys didn't answer their phone one time over 2 days.
They answered my call, but they gave me some hula baloo bullshit.
They answered for you?
They answered for me. It was unbelievable.
No way.
And I said, listen, I said, there's a barge coming down the damn lake here. Can I get in? You know, or down the river. And it was a 3/4 of a mile away. And they're like, no, they got priority. We can't let you in because they were coming. They were already letting some people down in. I couldn't get in that one. Brad Leitner was there. I came up there afterwards. They wouldn't let us in. And I'm just like, this is stupid. So anyway, I went back to fishing pretty close there. And so we could have went in easily. I mean, I'm not stupid. You know, this guy is going to take 15, 20 minutes to even get to the damn lock. Like, they can wait 10 minutes. Let's let a half a dozen of us in to a dozen of us through. And then I knew, I was like, oh, bud. But the guy said, when I called his ass, getting back to my point, he said, oh, it's going to be an hour and a half, 2 hours max. I'm like, I'm good. It'll give me 30 minutes to get to the weigh-in, which was only, 12 minutes? You know what I mean? We had about a 10-minute idle.
Yeah, 10 minutes idle. You had like a 3-mile run.
Oh, dude, 3.5. I set up. I mean, we could have just, I thought about just, I don't know what I thought. I thought all kinds of shit, but everybody was dumping their fish. Clip. There was 3 Bassmaster Classic champs that got locked out on that second day. Hal out of 9, and then Cliff Pace and Casey Ashley were right there next to me.
Wow.
Like, and listen to this shit. There was 2 local guys that fished hermits there every weekend. Okay, this is when you know that something goofy was going on. They're like, we fished hermits here every weekend. And it was a couple of the guys that was fishing in the open, and they're like, dude, we've never seen this shit take this long. Not a tournament. Like, this is like, we should have been out of here. Like,
no, so, it was taking forever, man. I fished a lot of tournaments on the Mississippi River, and that pool 7 lock was the slowest lock I have ever been to in my life.
I about had a birthday waiting on it.
That's gotta like at least make you feel better though. Like, when you were there, obviously you weren't there alone. You're there with
exactly
3 classic champions and some locals that were like, this is
yeah. It's very frustrating, and I felt bad because there was 2 guys in there that would have made the top 10.
Wow.
I wouldn't have made the top 10, but I think I would have cashed a check. You know, and that's a lot of money. That's a lot of peso.
Yeah.
If that covers $4,500 or whatever it is. I'm like, God damn, I needed that just to pay for the stupid shit. You know, traveling these things, you got to have a little peso to keep you going, you know. And it's like, shit, man, whatever. But
no, that one was a weird feeling being there because like I wasn't due until 4:40 or 4:50. So I looked at the app, I saw everything that was coming, and I was like, I'm either gonna get in or I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna run down there at 3:30 and I'll figure it out then.
Yeah.
I got down there and then the lock opened at 3:45, and I was like gonna be nice, and I was like, hey, whoever needs to get in, go ahead. And like 80% of the dudes looked at me and were like, you're good. You're still like, your fish still count. And I was like, wait a second. All of you are screwed right now? Like, there's like 10 to 15 boats that were like, yeah, I already chucked them. Like, it doesn't matter. An hour later.
I kept mine just in case something silly happened, which I don't know. I was like, there ain't no way. I ain't going to get that lucky. Just even, you know, everybody threw a lot of their fish away. I just kept mine just in case something happened, like the lock was broke and they were going to give a little free pass card. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Wishful thinking.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I just, once I knew I was going to make it, I just sat there and I thought Brad Leitner was going to make it through. He would have
We all led him to the front of the group.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You were in there. You were towards the back. You kind of came in.
Yeah. I sat in the back and was like, let everybody go.
Yeah.
You know, I knew I was going to be good by that. Once I got in those doors, I was like, unless this thing breaks when we get down there, I'm good.
Yeah.
So
and I felt bad. So I was sitting there. I'm like, man, I want to go fishing. I can't just sit here. You can't sit there. You know, I hated sitting over there. I was like, man, I just want to go fishing, you know? And I was like, maybe I can make it, maybe not. And this is before you got there.
Yeah. I was still up by Trempealeau at that point.
Yeah, but I was like, man. And then I'm like, oh shit, I'm not gonna make it. So anyway, I'm glad I didn't, because I was thinking Brad was gonna make it. And he was kind of fishing the same damn area I was, the largemouth spot where we were frogging them. I always gave myself an hour. I wanted like an hour or two each day to fish right there. And anyway, he was kind of around the same area. So I found out, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna go beat fish up that he could be catching, you know. It was, what a cluster. I mean, that was nightmare.
And then the same thing happened down on 9. We ended up figuring out when we got in, they were perfectly timed.
Yeah.
Wow.
Exactly. Heck yeah. I mean, look at all these damn bugling herd bulls in the background. You got them things stacked up like cordwood in the back.
Oh boy.
Yeah, he does.
Magnums. We see you like bugling some bulls, huh?
Yeah, I don't do enough of it, but I'm pumped to get back out there this year.
That's
Talk-
awesome.
Not going archery, going rifle.
Talk to Chancy about kind of this new section that you crawled in on with your buddy TJ.
Oh, dude, yeah, we went out we went in July and scouted out this new area. We're going on a rifle hunt out there. That it's the same unit we've been hunting in off and on or whatever, but it's just some real high basin we found back there that we glassed some bulls in. Yeah, a couple of years ago we glassed some bulls in there and tried to go after them, and it was just, we tried going in there and it was just awful. Like we just couldn't get there. And so we're like, all right, we're going to figure out how to get up there and camp up there this summer. So we did a trip. We flew out there and hiked up and went and checked this thing out. It's like literally the top of the mountain, big, like hanging basin up there. And there's freaking bulls all over the place. It was crazy. So they will be, they aren't, we were in July, so it wasn't going yet, but I'm sure they're going nuts there right now.
Oh,
I mean, I've been seeing a ton of them getting killed right now, especially in that part of Colorado. So, but
hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
That elk hunting's fun, man. I've never got a tag for myself. I've always just been out there for camaraderie and I've called a lot of big bulls in for people.
Yeah.
And I haven't dedicated myself to actually go try to kill one yet, but hopefully in the next year or two, I'll try to go out for, a week and try to kill one.
Yeah, dude, it's sick. I mean, like, yeah, I love it so much. Like, I mean, I love hunting around here too. But being out there in the mountains is like,
it is a special deal. And it's not during any other time, I mean, obviously, it might be during the Derby time, but who cares, man? I mean, get out there and go whack you a big bugling bull. Shit, man. God damn. There's something about them things screaming next to you. When it's thick in a jungle, you got to just, what I learned about elk hunting, it's really a lot. It's a lot like turkey hunting in different ways. But what I've learned, like what really worked for us when we would be out there and we'd get on these big ones, my buddy killed like a 375 out there. That was pretty cool. And we killed a lot of like 280 to 310 ish, beautiful public land bulls. But I'd get them fired up. And then once I sensed that they were kind of like coming, I would run towards the sumbitches, and we would get in, cover that distance.
Just get real aggressive with it.
Get real aggressive because they always hang up on you. There's a lot of times they'll hang up on you. So if you can get in there close to where you think they're going to hang up to you, and you just be quiet, they're going to come in and hang up and lace them then. Yeah. But man.
Yeah, but you guys are always grinding on public up here too. So I think some guys, they go out there and they're used to just popping around on the farm, and they're like, what is this about?
Yeah.
You could just go, you could hike for days and never leave public out there.
Yeah, well, back in the day, we watched the old Primos, them DVDs and shit when they were killing damn shit, dude. That's the easiest hunting, man. Them damn bugles, they're walking around like cattle out there bugling and pumping every damn cow out. You can just walk right up in there and call them things in. I mean, there's so many big bulls. It's like, shit, they hear a cow, oh shit, let's go get her, And it ain't public hunting bulls.
No.
So it always looked easy on those videos because it was easy.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but,
No, but it's fun, dude.
I'll go up into a damn big old bugling bull farm and whack one. I ain't scared.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I ain't scared.
I
either.
ain't trying to prove nothing. I'll get up in there and hang out with them. It's like getting in a school of bass. Shit, I'll get up on a big old school of them. Catch
so
them every
Chancy, for people who are maybe wanting to like get into, maybe they're a tree stand guy and they wanted to get into the whole ground game, what do you think are like, say 3 traits or 3 rules of thumb you would tell people that like you need to follow this if you're going to be successful? You know what I'm saying? Or
That
like
is
3 things you
awesome
live
question.
by, maybe.
That is good.
That's an awesome question, Adam.
Like me right now, as soon as you say that, I think on the ground, covering a lot of ground with the vehicle. This is just like, this is going to relate to fishing. Let's say you're out on Pickwick, Kentucky Lake, or places where these bass school up. You got to cover some ground. You got to side scan a lot of stuff. You got to do the same thing with your vehicle. You got to cover a lot of ground. Obviously, you're hunting public or private or knock on door or whatever, covering a lot of ground. Some guys don't care to kill a big buck. They're just out there to kill a deer. You got to, obviously, every situation is different. Me, I want to kill one that I don't want to kill a buck unless it's going to make me happy, my own personal self. Everybody's vision of a big buck is different. You know, I've had multiple guys, man, it's a giant, big ass buck down the road, go check it out. And I get down there and it's 120 inches. And I'm like, well, holy shit, it's a damn baby to me. But to that dude, he was goddamn about ready to fall out of the damn vehicle. He thought it was so big. So everybody's situation is different, but covering a lot of ground, getting your eyeball on one, and then getting a game plan. I like to get on real high spots. Me and Jared would like to do that, and to get a good visual. And you can cover a lot of ground. I mean, you just get up somewhere high, and especially if you're in an open area, you just glass from miles away, and you can spot them damn deer.
What do you mean about high ground though? Like in the Midwest, like when we're talking,
Yeah, there ain't no high ground in Kansas,
Minnesota. Like
I've been to
there's higher ground. You just get out in the flat area and you start scanning around, and you'll see somewhere high somewhere. Go to that, figure out how to drive there and get there. And just as long as it gets you up a little bit, it's crazy how far you can see, and you can spot some deer for sure. But if you don't have open ground, what I recommend is if you have a public piece, play the wind. That's another one. You got to play the wind. You got to keep yourself downwind to these animals, downwind to where you're looking. Get up in crawl your ass up in a big tree that's maybe overlooking an area where you can see a lot. A lot of guys will just get out of their vehicle and start walking right into the public. That's the last thing you want to do. You don't want to do that. You want to stay back. Even if you almost sacrifice a day of hunting, it's going to help, because if you go walking in, you're going to blow, there could be a damn buck bedded right there, and you're just going to blow him out. So you almost want to dedicate a morning or day, because a lot of people don't have a damn month to go chase deer around. They got like 5-6 day window, sometimes. You want to be able to like set back. And what I mean by this, let's say you got a section of ground that you're hunting and the wind's out of the south. Okay. Get on the damn north side of the section. Hopefully there's an area where you can get up, climb up way up in a tree and just start glassing. And just don't even hunt. Like, you're obviously bring your shit just in case, but like get a visual on, oh wow, there's where the does are kind of come out of. Oh, there's a big buck over there. Shit, he's coming out right there. And then you start getting a feel of the spot on public or private. And then this way, then you can make a game plan, like a decision. It'd be like rolling up onto a damn grass flat and there's a bunch of bass in there. You kind of want to work your way in there on a shallow flat with a chatterbait or whatever. Try to get, there's one, and then just start filling out where the school of fish is. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with like deer hunting. You got to you can't just blow in there. You got to set back and kind of fill out where the movement is, and then make a proper decision to get in there to kill one. But I don't know if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense, and that was like such a good question, Adam, because like I feel like that's super relatable to me. Like I've got a couple farmers' lands I have permission on. We kill some does out there. Every once in a while, I'll be lucky enough to kill a buck, but I've got awesome public land around me. And it's almost it feels like a confidence deal where it's like, there's nice pieces I drive by all the time, but I never drive by them during the rut or dedicate a lot of time to drive around and do a lot of scanning. But I want to go in there and I want to get mobile and I want to be on the ground. I want to try it, but I
want to tell you a little trick that you need to, this is one thing that I do all the time. And I do a lot of decoying the deer. I'll get in or I'll either try to shoot them in their bed when they're with their doe. I'll figure out where they're at. And this is what I mean. Like all of a sudden I'm driving down the road. I spot me a buck in the morning. Oh, he's got a doe. He's pushing a doe. Set back, because you don't know. You want to, unless you feel like there's a way that you can get in front of him right then, you just got to set back. And if you know he's on a place where you can hunt, let that son of a bitch bed up with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
And then get a game plan, mark the shit around it. Okay, he's by this little tree, this part of dark grass, and then get that in your mental notes. Maybe put a damn little waypoint where you think he is on the map. So then when you go in there and get close to him, you know where he's at, and you're not going to, bump him, play the wind. Hopefully you have wind, and slide in there and kill his after. But another thing is, if all of a sudden you get a spot where you got, let's say you've all seen it, where you'll have a big buck and then you'll have these satellite bucks running around, like trying to get in there to get a little action. They think that's all a big party,
Yeah.
And the big boy, he's like, no, you can't have none. You need to figure out the distance that he lets those little bucks come in. Let's say it's 40, 50 yards, that the mature buck with the doe, all of a sudden he's got these little bucks, and all of a sudden, once they get into like 40, 50 yards, he'll run and he'll chase their ass out of there, try to run them out of the country. And then little bastards will try to come sneaking back in. You need to figure out that distance. And that's when I bring the decoy in there. And when he's not looking or whatever, maybe he goes and runs off a little puke buck. Hopefully you can get in there downwind of him. I prop that damn decoy up, and that son of a bitch looks back, and he's like, oh shit, there's another one coming in on my girlfriend. And then they come in and try to fight. And that's when I shoot these damn things 1/4 and 2 on the ground trying to fight you. And we got some of the sickest shit coming, boys. It's gonna blow your mind.
That's so awesome.
Nothing even. It's very, very amazing, man. The stuff that's coming that what Jared has. He's a damn wizard with the creation of what we got going on.
Dude, before you go, just to jump on that little decoy thing there, just give us one right before you go. I gotta ask this because I saw it on your Instagram. But tell me about this turkey suit, dude.
Oh shit, bud. Yeah, it's so okay. Okay, gosh dang it. Do I have the little clip here? Let me see if I can pull this up.
Oh yeah.
So while you're doing that, so basically, if you guys hadn't seen this, there's a great photo on your Instagram. You're holding like a nice tom and everything, you got like, I know like people like reaping has been popular, like whatever.
Yeah, I don't know if you know this, but I started that.
Well, that's badass. But like you're not doing it like you're just holding a fan and like doing shit. Like you're wearing a fucking turkey costume, dude.
Yeah, that's how I started doing it. And I'm just like, obviously everybody started doing it, and which is awesome. And the first one, you need to look up, write this down in your little notepad and check this one out.
Yeah.
Write down man versus turkey. That was the first video of anybody ever doing that. And that was me crawling down there, and this sumbitch runs, and then I John Wayne him up over the decoy with a 16 gauge and shoot this turkey point blank. But man versus what you guys and that was the first one. And then I was like, man, we need to call this turkey reaping. So then I built a logo, looked like a Grim Reaper, type of deal with a turkey skull and shit. And it became turkey reaping, and everybody and their dog wanted to do it. And I designed like the decoy for Mojo Outdoors, the scoot and shoot.
Really?
Seen that?
That's
awesome. But anyway, the deer thing. Yeah. It's, the deer, you can't just go walking at a damn deer with a decoy. They're not like an antelope. You might be able to pull it off, but deer, they know the weird movements. They like, oh, that ain't something. Deer move so like smooth and shit, and it's like you just walk them. You got to get in position, pop the damn decoy up when they ain't looking, and then they're like, oh shit, and then it's game time coming in. But anyway, the turkey suit. Sorry, I'm 100 mile an hour.
No, you're good.
The turkey suit. So how I started that, I was like, man, I want to be, instead of like holding the decoy, I want to be the damn decoy. I want to be.
That's the artist.
I don't want to be.
I don't want to hate the art. I want to be the art.
I'm going to be that turkey.
I don't want to. I need this shit to be row. I want to be in Sniffer's row. You know what I'm saying? And so that's when I built that thing. But I put a turkey head. This is no shit. You know that turkey? They sold them in Walmart for, it was a blow up decoy. And it had the decoy was shit. But the head was the best looking head you ever seen on a turkey. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep.
The decoy was sick. So I bought that thing, $20 decoy, chucked the damn balloon decoy in the trash, and ripped the head off. And I bolted that son of a bitch right on the front of the black hat. So then You know, you got your black hat, you got
It's so electric, dude.
and I'm just like, okay, now I got to build the damn, you know, the breast. So then I got a t-shirt, built that up like this, and then I put turkey feathers. So there I got my head, and then I got the damn feathers going here. So it looked like the breastplate of a turkey. And I'm like, man, how am I going to do the fan? So I hooked me up a strap deal that I mounted a fan on. So then it would be right here in between your shoulder blades. So when you got down, you know, you pulled the breastplate up like this, and you could still look under your hat right here, turkey head. And then you had that fan right here. I mean, you're becoming one with the nature. And that's
dude, I'm
they come running right in. It blows your mind, dude. There's nothing better. Turkey hunting, calling them in. And the problem is when I started doing that stuff, there's somebody got, man, you need to learn how to call in. I'm like, dude, I've called more turkeys than all you fuckers put together. Like, I did that for years. Like, I'm just trying to have fun. You know what I'm saying? And it was just like, once I started doing that, I was like, man, these things are just coming up. And you can almost, like, I've tried to grab them. I haven't caught one yet. But
yeah.
But it's a ball. But heck yeah, man. So you guys, how long you guys had this podcast?
Well, we've been rolling for 2 years now.
2 years,
Dude, why in the hell haven't anybody told me?
I know, dude. Any of your long drives to opens or anything you got wrong,
I got you dialed in now. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to all you.
Yeah.
Oh, Chancy, we got normally Honners on with us. You love Honners.
I know, dude. I love that kid. I miss traveling with him. That first year, I got along with him great, man. I like that kid. He's a hell of a fisherman, and I miss him. Yeah, I don't know what's he up to these days.
Dude, I have no idea.
He's that's the beauty of this podcast, and that's why I want you to follow along, Chancy's, because
so I'm gonna, and I'm I feel. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you and say that I have been following this, but because I haven't.
No, but now that you know Cody, and
I'm
you
glad you
reached
out, man.
It's a loose fit, like, you know, podcast. We'll get updates from Cody here and there where, like, he's got crazy electrician stories. Next week, he's drinking some weird juice with his girlfriend. Next week, he's getting into gardening with her. The next week, he's muskie banging. The next week, he's in deer camp with his family. The next week, he's hunting down steelhead.
He's my style of dude to hang out with for sure. He's cool. I like him. I got a good vibe. I got a good vibe out of all you guys though. But yeah, it's good people up there in the northern jungle. All you guys know how to party, catch bass, and kick ass.
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, shit, that's like the best send off of all time. We got to let Chancy go on that one.
Unreal.
Right?
Yeah, that's good. Well, that's all right, man.
And folks, please, if you haven't checked out Chancy and his stuff, everything from his wildlife art to Whitetail Adrenaline to his journey on the Bassmaster Opens, please follow him on Instagram.
Well, don't look at the stats. Don't look at the stats. They're pretty bad. But we'll get back in the groove. I'm gonna maybe run them one more year, and if not, then I'll just do a division and have fun again. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
And good luck hunting this fall, dude.
Thank you, boys. Yeah, good luck to you, and keep in touch. Get my number to everybody. I know, Sam, you got my number. You got my number.
I'll pass your number
around. We'll get you back on
one of these times up there.
Because I'd love to have you on, Chancy, even if it's just like sometime in the fall and you're out at deer camp, and maybe you and Jared are about popping around, and we're like, hey, Chancy, you guys want to hop on for 10 minutes?
Just give me a heads up. We'll make shit happen. We'll make shit happen. Just get a hold of me, and we'll get up on here with you. So
we'll do something cool. All right. Thank you, Chancy. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you, Chancy.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was the one and only Chancy Walters. He is a national treasure, and he needs to be protected at all costs. I don't care if it's at a tournament, if it's at a bar, if it's at a sports show, if it's anywhere that I've bumped into him, he just fires me up on all cylinders to give it the frickin' gas. And I don't care if that's within fishing, hunting, or anything. Like, you see this guy, dude, and he just exudes this energy that just makes you go, oh yeah, dude, I'll get out there with you right now and paint my whole body, dude.
There's nothing better Bassmaster Open tournament morning, and you're just trolling by saying hi to people, and you see Chancy Walters, and he just looks at you and he goes, there's a herd bull right there. He's gonna go catch him. And you're like, he's talking about me. He's right. I am.
And doesn't he make you feel good? He makes you feel good.
And then I come in with my 3 fish for 7.5 pounds, and I'm like, damn right.
She's like, by God, I thought I was gonna get him though.
Oh, he's just a fellow that I want to drink a million beers with. I want to kill deer with. I want to catch fish with, or I want to sit around a campfire and just exchange stories till 4 a.m. He's just
Sobi. You'll have to reach
amazing
out
dude.
to him sometime. I think one of the coolest videos you could do YouTube like style would be getting him to like some of your private or whatever you're hunting and be like, so where do I suck?
No, exactly. I'd like to do it
And
multiple
just
ways.
walk around with him.
Dude, Adam, you asked awesome questions that I was literally thinking in my head because like Chancy is like an all-around outdoorsman, but I feel like I'm a high level angler, intermediate to low intermediate hunter. But I got the passion here as well, where he's like, oh, it's just like when you go out to a lake and you just like, go out there all day and break down a lake. To me, it's like, yeah, let's go any lake. But then when it comes to deer hunting or something like that, it's like I don't
know
think
what
I
I'm
have
looking at.
Yeah, I don't have the confidence just like to roll out to my local public piece or all these public pieces and be like, all right, how are we going to attack this? I'm like, I don't know. But a guy like that,
And then
has
you're
the
like, well,
confidence.
Jim, George, and Jerry were already through here this morning, so I
Yeah.
don't need to go do it. And yeah,
I feel like I'm the type of hunter that are the type of anglers where it's like, morning or evening, I'll go out, throw topwater or slip bobber, and I'm going to connect. And I'm like sitting here on a couple private pieces where like morning or evening, I'm going to sit there. I might connect. We're like, experienced angler be like,
Yeah, but it's not even
like
the same thing, dude. Because like you be sitting there on your little, corn pile you got going, and he drove to St. Cloud and back already looking for bucks.
I know, but
Yeah.
he like found him. So he's so fun to talk to. That was an awesome interview. Bart, thank you for reaching out to Chancy.
yeah. I thought of that. I was
Yeah,
like, we've been thinking about guests for a while, and then I ran into him on the access of Pool 7, and I was like, I gotta ask Chancy. He would be awesome to have on.
Yeah, dude. And then
I'm glad you didn't ask him during the whole lock thing.
No. Yeah, we avoided. I didn't run into him, luckily. I just kind of hung in the back once I ran into the first guy, and he said I was due in at 2:30, and I looked at my clock, and it said 2:30 or 3:37. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hang back. I was like, how many guys have been here for this long? And he's like, most of us. I was like, all right, I'm gonna hang over here.
The hype level's probably not high. Currently.
No, nobody's.
No, we've
too
been
pumped.
here.
Oh my god.
Oh man.
All right. Now we will we're going to roll into our last segment of the night, and I think it is long awaited. We got some listener questions, right, Pink?
We do.
We'll just rip through these as long as we'll have fun for all the fans and everything.
Yeah. We got loads of them, so we can pump the brakes whenever. I mean, we'll save some of there's no way we're getting through all these, dude. There's no way. So all right, let's start. We'll start with some of the first ones that came in. Some of these are quick. How sick of everyone bitching about FFS are you? Probably the most sick of it at this point, eh?
Yeah, I think we're all good. I think we put that topic to rest.
I think that's daggers, right? We're done. We're done.
Daggers.
Yeah. Decisions have been made, and suddenly people aren't talking about it. It's wild, right?
Everyone's like, yeah, it's fine. All right. Need PTB merch drop. Yeah,
ooh, that's in the works.
It says when's that? So things are happening. There's gears turning. So
we're working on a lot of things for this fall. We're getting all the boys together, chatting about a bunch of things. Like we said, this summertime is really, really rough for a bunch of us in terms of timing. So I think this fall we're going to be able to connect and kind of get a good idea of, just what be able to do, and
things are happening.
So things are happening.
Stay tuned.
Just hang with us. Yep.
We are, and we are gonna we are stepping it up. Like in all seriousness, the boys and I, we've been talking about a few different ideas, and we got some big things down the pipeline. Like we will be stepping PTB like up to the next gear.
Yeah, we want it to be a weekly thing. We want it to be as big as everybody wants it to be. We just need to take the action to do it. So know that we are working on it. We know we've been saying that for like 6 months, but also it was the summer, guys. Like you got to enjoy that in the upper Midwest. Now it's work time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Any follow up to the cigarette boat motor thing?
No, I haven't. I didn't find anybody. I didn't see anything on security cam. I thought I would have heard something by now. Nothing. So Yeah, if anyone's heard anything, hit me up. But I got nothing. Boat still works great. Boat's actually for sale. If anybody,
that's how good
is
fishing
looking.
went.
Yeah. No, I got a new one. I got a new one on order.
Bart fished the river, and he's like, "My boat's for
For
sale,
sale.
by the way."
Yeah, no, I got a new one on order for next year. So if someone's looking at getting a 1-year-old Camus, hit me up. She's loaded.
Maybe that'll
ready
be part
to
of
go.
the giveaway. 1,000 subs.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could probably do that.
All right, I like that. All right, this is a really good one actually. Okay, which would you rather have as a tourney partner? A good angler that's a bad net man, or an okay angler that is an elite net man?
Say that again.
I'm going to equate this to the St. Jude this year. I'm going to take a really good angler who's a bad net man, because that's Matt Pangrack. And I'll just net him for him.
Called out.
Say the question again.
Okay, so which would you rather have as a tournament partner? A good angler that's a bad net man, or just an okay angler that is an elite net man?
Ooh, that's a who put that in as a question?
Answer it first.
Was it Pangrack?
No. That would have been funny, though. That would have actually been hysterical.
I will take the I will take the elite angler bad net man, because I'm fine netting them. I don't care. Just get them to the boat. I don't care. It's a team atmosphere here.
Yeah, I'd take the elite angler probably over there. But I do really highly respect a net man that's just like, boom, you hook up and
On it.
They're just like on it. I have all the respect where it's like,
I would say
would
Matt Voigt, amazing net man. Very
Really?
good net man. Yeah, Voigt's listening to this with his kids right now, and I will say Voigt is a very good net man. Very good.
He netted a couple of my bass, no complaints.
Mm-hmm.
But that one came in from Cole Karski. He comments a lot. So
that was
shout
good.
out,
That
Cole.
was good.
Shout out Cole.
Yeah, I would take the better angler, I think. Let's just get them bites in the boat, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Have been told muskies don't eat swim baits. Opinions. Caught quite a few on swim baits, so I would say that's probably not real.
Muskies eat fish, so I think a swim bait's a fish.
I think so.
Right?
Yeah. I've caught them. I've caught them. Swim baits, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, and
sure.
I've had some on mag drafts and stuff like that, and I've had some boat side on mag drafts. Like back when I used to throw mag draft a lot, like for sure they eat with swim bait.
For sure.
I love it.
So whoever told you that probably sucks. All right. You all should dabble in kayak tournaments. I mean, I've done a few. I dabbled. I've done some. I'll probably do more. They're kind of fun.
Yeah, I would like to dabble in it too, especially because Ryan's got some spots, son.
Sobi, I got a kayak tournament angler. I actually need to send you his YouTube. My buddy, so we're down in La Crosse, and my buddy Brady Hanna, who we were staying with, we didn't have cable or anything, so each night we'd turn on TV, and he turned on this guy's videos, and he was phenomenal. Like, very good video editor, very good storyteller. I'm gonna find him real quick so I can tell everybody what this is, because he's got like 100,000 something subs.
You texted me this guy, Adam, and I watched him, and he is awesome. And
what does he film?
Together,
he fishes kayak
he films tournaments.
Yeah, kayak bass
Okay,
tournaments.
okay.
And dude,
Yeah,
he's awesome, and I can't exactly tell you why, but his videos feel different than everything I'm used to watching. And I think Sobi, you would say that too, right?
Yeah, I forgot to respond to that text, Adam, but I want you to know I fully saw it and I totally watched this dude and I subscribed to him.
His name's
awesome.
Greg Blanchard.
Yeah, he's awesome.
All right,
Greg Blanchard Fishing. Like 100%. I highly recommend. I just started watching him this last week, and like I would get home and be eating. I'd be like, I want to watch the next Greg video. And I just put it on, and like, dude, I haven't been excited to watch fishing YouTube, and it feels like 2+ years. And like I said, I don't know what this guy did or the format of whatever. Like I could dive into it more analytically, but in terms of editing wise, but his vibes, his editing style, everything. I think Sobi, you would, right? You'd agree. It was just refreshing.
There's almost like I can't. Yeah,
I'm gonna like scope this.
I can't explain it, but I think there's something that he does with his style or his editing or his storytelling where like his video seems raw and natural, mixed with he keeps it moving enough where I'm never like
Never get bored.
uninterested. Yeah,
And they're
but
like
it's
30 to
still
40-minute videos. They're awesome.
still raw. It's like still raw of him like fishing and like I just watched that one of him in the Toolies and stuff like that. I think he was down on maybe he was in California.
Clear Lake. Yeah.
That was sick, dude.
Yeah,
It was
really good.
Really well done.
Shout out Greg
That-
Blanchard.
Yeah, that totally takes the question of kayak tournament sideways, but that's just what I thought of. I don't know. I've debated maybe getting a little into the kayak thing. Here's the thing. I feel like when you have a boat, it's really hard to go to a kayak. And I could be wrong saying that. Whereas guys who are in a kayak, it's cool being there. I just know I would have to relearn every mechanic I know for bass fishing to go do the kayak.
That's very true.
I would be screwed.
I would say though, because like the ones that I've done, and I didn't do any this year, but I jumped into quite a few the past few years that are like online kind of ones.
Yeah.
And I think the difference is it allows you to go to places you would never take your boat.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like if it was like fishing the same venues out of a kayak, maybe I wouldn't be as hyped as like fishing out of my boat for like a bigger tournament, like a lacrosse, right? But these ones where you can pretty much fish any water you want and you're just targeting big ones, like these online tournaments that are not just like a day. You know what I mean?
And so, I think the online tournaments are for sure cool, and I think I'd like to dabble in them down the road. But I also have like there's something cool about kayaks that I feel like you are in the same position as your competition, and it's all a risk of time management and where you go and what you do. Like I would love to go, Ryan, bring me to, because Ryan has awesome kayak spots. Ryan, bring me to your best little hole, whether that's a little pond or a low end swamp lake. And you're in your kayak, I'm in my kayak. We both lay $100 down, and I like that. We got 8 hours, and I want to do like a 1v1 for $100. We're both in our yaks. We both got 3 or 4 rods. Go.
I like that, and we just go like no electronics, no nothing, just like bring your shit and let's go fish. Yeah, I like that. All right,
I want to 1v1 people in kayaks, and I think it'd be a really sweet deal on their favorite piece.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I'm down. Yeah,
and I want to do it for like money, like $100, because it would make it feel like, oh shit, dude, we're going for 100 bones right here, 8 hours.
I like that.
Or 4, whatever we do.
All right. Any of you boys go bow hunting this past weekend? No, it opened this weekend in Minnesota here. I did not go. I think I mentioned earlier, I spent some time just like getting ready for later in the season, basically.
Yeah, I didn't go either. And I think in years past, I've done the opener thing, and I'm glad that Steph and I kind of don't do that, because it's like, it's freaking hot, dude. It's always hot. It's always like 80 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, and like the hunting can be good, especially if you have like deer showing up that you really want to get. But it's also like, if you get one, you have to deal with it like right now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Otherwise this meat's going to go bad. But no, I don't think any of us got out. I don't think the other boys did either.
No, a lot of our buddies didn't get out either.
Yeah. Okay. Thoughts on filming videos with PTB fans on their home lakes? Maybe Sobi will come 1v1 you in a kayak.
Dude, I'm not kidding. I want to
straight cold call outs, dude.
Like I've done some pike fishing, and I've done bass fishing of my own in some yaks and pan fishing in yaks, but like I've never done a straight up yak derb for bass in the yak, and I'm not opposed to it. If you got a good hole,
I think we fire it up, dude.
And maybe if it's someone's special hole and you give me like a half day to do a little pre-practice and poking around, I'll freaking let's go.
All right,
take them on.
This one we'll have to say. I'm going to read it, but this will be for a different pod, I think. It says everyone give their favorite college bassin story. We ain't got time for that right now.
It's a great.
We need Honor here. We need Honor here too.
A segment for a different time.
But yeah, noted. Will's dues are overdue. Hangover 5K before he can come back on.
I think he has to do the turkey trot this year, and I think we have to tell him that. Otherwise, it's like, bro.
I mean,
I don't care if it's sanctioned or not. I want video footage of him physically running a long distance on our behalf. You know,
there has to be.
That has to get solved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not optional.
See, here's the thing, PTB fans. You can keep hitting us up, but the reality is spam Stolsky's inbox because he'll eventually get irritated.
His socials.
Will won't admit this, but he really is susceptible to peer pressure. So if you just hit him enough, he will cave. 100%.
And also, you're going to see his Instagram, and you're going to act like, oh, he probably don't go on here much. No, he be snooping on Instagram. Hit his DMs
on
up
Instagram all the time.
And be like, oh, don't you need to like run for something?
So bury him, please.
Yeah.
But yes, we know. And
we're
Sam,
working on it.
You have to take care of yours, dude.
I know.
You do yours, he'll have to do his.
Maybe it's a yak derb. I don't know. Something. It has to.
Maybe we start our own like 10 boat online kayak derb for this fall.
Okay.
To satisfy some people, and then we make Sobi fish it with Snoopy poles.
Watch me win. Watch me win.
That's fine.
I've never seen so much determination before. Watch him put on a team on his back like you do.
That
would be
We'll
sweet.
make him go to Prior Lake.
Oh boy. All right, here we go. Thoughts on people getting locked out in the opens? I think you've heard that.
Yeah, we covered it.
Best phrase to say when you set the hook. Gentlemen.
Get out of there. Get out of there.
Get out of there.
Yup.
Yeah, I think mine is normally a yup.
It's her. I feel like that's a go-to.
That's Ryan's for sure.
It's her. It's her.
That's
mine.
her.
Like I talk so much in general. Mine is normally silence if it's big.
Just nothing.
I'm like, oh God, I know what that is.
Oh God.
Like as Minnesotan as it is, I think I let out an oofta fairly often.
Oof.
It's very anticlimactic when Bart sets the hook.
Fish on, or like Jeremy Wade.
Fish on. That'd be good. That's a solid one. I like it.
Fish on.
All right. What little Debbie are you bringing to the tree stand?
Ooh,
that's a good question. That's solid.
You go.
Dude, the harvest cakes is the one, dude.
What's that?
Oh God.
Harvest cakes? Are they the Halloween version of like a?
No, they're the harvest version.
The harvest version of the Zeta
I don't
cake?
have a dog in this fight, but I would say the oatmeal cream ones.
The oatmeal cream pie.
Those things are
it's
delicious.
This is it. I'll show you the picture of it right now. The fall party cakes, dude. Oh my God. That's the one.
I kind of want in. Dude, it's been
Yeah.
I don't know if this is a part of the Little Debbie brand, but if I'm in like Walmart and I walk by them, I never get them, but I always want them. Is like I always want those cosmic brownies, dude. I see them and I'm like,
the cosmics, dude. I don't know why they're so hard to find now, but like, because like I like the fall harvest ones, and like closer they get the tree ones.
Yeah, the tree ones are really good.
Ones, dude. Like you got to put that shit out now.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Damn.
That Little Debbie. You imagine you had a Little Debbie wrap boat, Bart? That'd be kind of gangster. Like,
trying to work on a taco boat.
A taco boat?
That'd be legit.
All right. Why hasn't Pink taken Aaron's advice to quit his job? Well,
that was Jay's advice.
That was Jay. Still a tremendous bitch, so that's probably the key factor here.
Maybe we need to get Jay back on.
Maybe we should.
Maybe he'll be our next fresh meat. We'll have Jay on, and it'll just be 20 minutes of Jay telling Pink how big of a pussy he is.
I will
quitting his job yet.
Is there a part of you that sees Chancy, Ryan, and you go like, dude, he's making it work? Like,
dude,
Chancy
I was honestly
dudes.
Dude, 2 minutes in, I was like, fuck.
He's one of them dudes. You are so hunt fish
Chancy
DIY.
is one of those dudes, man.
He's one of them, dude. For real.
And Chancy would probably give you, God dang it, we should have like posed that question. Chancy, what would you tell Ryan if it's like, dude, quit
If
that.
Ryan's a
mainstream
tremendous
life.
pussy and he won't quit his day job, if he does what you do and would
dude.
love
Call
it.
him back. Call him back. Get him on.
Call him back.
Text him real quick. Be like, Chancy, we got one more question for you.
God damn it. All right. Let's see. Bart. Oh,
Did you answer that question, or was it just that you're a pussy?
Oh, that was the answer.
Okay.
At this point in the game, that's what I'm. Yeah.
Just making sure that's clear.
We're gonna get him.
Yeah.
Bart, one of these days,
No.
just to be like, screw it. I'm done.
Should I get a new phone first, or take care of the job thing first?
Yeah.
I think the goal with the Chronicles this winter is to try to get Pink fired because we haven't been able to do it yet.
Well, based on the schedule, we got a pretty good shot at that. So
I think we might be able to do it actually. So if everyone pushes real hard, I think we might get Pink out involuntarily, which will be even better. But I also call the city of Chanhassen's bluff because he's gone all the time and they've done nothing. So I don't think they'll do anything. I think you'll just be like, I'm not going to show up. And they'll be like, but you have to. And you'll be like, but I'm not. And then they'll be like, oh, okay. Like, I don't really see how this goes down other than nothing happening. Cause I also think they're tremendous pussies. I think it's a pussy off. That's what we got going right now.
The thing with a pussy off is that they last a long time. These pussy offs.
I want to make a meme like one of those AI videos. It's like the city of Chanhassen. Ryan.
Oh my god. All right, Bart. This one's directed at you.
Oh boy.
It's not bad. It says how does the crappie fishing here in Maine compare to other states?
Directed at me?
It says Bart all caps.
How does Maine compare to other states?
Yep.
It's extraordinary. I don't know. Pink, you could probably back that up.
I don't know. I pretty much blasted them there, so I think it's awesome.
Yeah, it's freaking great. If they would get some limits, it would probably last really well because I know people are starting to harvest pretty good over there. But yeah, I mean, it's awesome. It's probably, I mean, we haven't been everywhere in the country, but from everywhere we've seen,
I think it's legit probably one of the coolest crappie destinations.
I think it's the coolest. I think it's the coolest place you could go ice fish from what I've seen so far.
For like somebody that lives here, like if you're going to travel, I think this guy lives in Maine and is saying like, how do you think it's good here? But it's like, yeah, it's like, I would go there again.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Definitely want to go back. Very high on the list to do actually. Yeah. I think last year kind of screwed a few plans up, but yeah, I really want to go back. It's amazing. Sobi, you should go out there for a week or two, man. Dude, you'd have a ball.
I would love that.
We could just like we've been out there long enough. We could just drop you a pin and be like, just fish around here, and whether it's crappies, perch, trout, dude, you name it, you'll go catch fish.
Yeah.
Because there was like cool thing.
There were some places where we legit looking at each other. Like I'm sitting next to Griff, and I'll be like, I bet you $5 you can't get your jig to the bottom. And I was like confident I was going to win $5.
Wow.
Because you can't.
Because you literally you can't. Like you could not.
And like you guys said, I know you guys talked about like it's starting to get harvested now, but I feel like it doesn't in the winter. I feel like there's just not a population.
No.
A large population of ice anglers. Like that
a lot
would
of
be
jack traps. A lot of jack traps.
You're jacking. Okay. All right.
And white perch are low key super cool. We ran into them.
Sick, dude.
Probably the best fish I've ever eaten.
They're very good. All right. Let's see. Best way to get into bow hunting with no prior experience or close mentors. That's a good question. Well, get a bow. I'd start there. Learn how to shoot it. Start with that.
Yeah, but how do you know how to get the right bow? That would be the first thing I would ask if you answered me that question. Where do I go to find these resources?
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
I have an answer to this question. Answer number one, I'd probably say I would watch some YouTube, and specifically I'd watch some of the hunting public. They've done some, they're really knowledgeable dudes, and they've done some budget bow hunting type deals where like Jake and those guys have gone to Walmart, purchased a low-end bow, everything you need for it, set it up, and then like on a budget, got into bow hunting. And then furthermore than that, I would go to a Shields specifically, if you have them around you, and I would just speak with their bow techs. I am not a knowledgeable bow hunter, even though I've been doing it for years, but I can go to a Shields and they have just like wicked smart bow techs that have set me up on good arrows and everything from Steph's draw length to getting her into a bow. Like I bought Steph a bow and I did not know what the hell to buy. I was very uneducated, but these guys walked me through it. That's what I would do, or that's what I did.
And here's the thing with like archery hunting, well, any hunting really, you don't need the best equipment to do it, right?
Totally.
People are out there killing deer with longbows, recurves, stuff like that. Like you don't need like crazy equipment. Just get a bow and learn how to shoot it, and then figure out how to like where you can hunt. Which if you aren't into hunting, you probably don't have access to land, I'm assuming. Like there's tons of public out there. Public hunting's not super easy, but people are successful all the time. You know what I mean? And I think if you get good on public land, you're just become a better hunter anyway. Like, cause you got to learn the game a little bit, but if you want to get into bow hunting specifically, get a bow, doesn't really matter what it is, and learn how to shoot it well.
Yeah.
I think that's step one.
And these bow techs that like work at Shields and stuff, like, dude, they eat, sleep, and breathe this, and they walked me through the process and Steph through the process. I was like, what's your Remington 870 of bows? You know what I mean? For a woman or something like that. Like, what is a good bang for your buck bow? And then she felt a couple, and then without even like looking at prices, it was like, you know, I was like, give me some economical options. You know what I mean? I wasn't trying to get her like a freaking Matthews switchback.
Right. Well, and
then they held him. She held him, and she's like, "This one feels good. This is more of a youth bow, but it feels good to me." All right, get their draw length figured out. All right, what are some just quality arrows? Not your worst arrows, not your best arrows. What is a quality arrow? And these people are really upfront and honest with you, and they help you a lot.
Yeah. And also, if you're going to probably be shooting your bow a lot anyway, just like if you go to a public outdoor range, just hang around there and talk to people, or get into, if you have a local pro shop, like you can Google that easily. If you have an archery shop, join their like winter archery league or whatever, because you'll meet tons of people and they'll probably hook you up with everything you could want for like information and places to go and stuff. So
yeah. And the cool thing with like the fishing or hunting community in general is, especially if you're novice, I do think people are willing and they want to share. They want to share their experiences or their knowledge. It's just like if somebody is bass fishing and you tell them, you ever throw a damn wacky rig? It's like, and they're like, no. And you're like, oh my gosh, I'm about to blow your mind. I'm about to set you up with the best damn bass bait in the Midwest or the country for that matter. And people are willing to share just baseline knowledge for sure to just get you in the game and get you set up.
Yeah, I think that's true. So that hopefully that answers somebody's question. Okay. What are you seeing on the trail cams? We got some good bucks. I mean, maybe we'll post them on like Instagram or something. I got some good bucks showing up. Sam, you said you got some bucks and does hanging around your place, right?
I got some small bucks and some nice does, but besides that, on a different note, I've got copious amounts of just the largest raccoons you've ever seen.
Dude,
it's a coon den out here.
Dude, maybe we should go coon smashing.
Dude, we could, and we couldn't even touch the population that lives out by me. They are rampant, and there's families. I'm talking families of 8, families of 6, and some of these coons are freaking hogs, dude. They're as Chancy would say, they're magnums.
Dude, we maybe go coon smashing.
We should.
We'll get it in before deer season. All right. Did you get anything else? Did you get anything crazy on your trail cameras?
No, nothing crazy. Just some young, a small 6-point, a small 8-point, and then some forkies, and then just some magnum does, big old long nose does.
Dude, I will say, because I know I sent you some trail camera pictures. So there was one, a picture that, whatever, nice 8-pointer that's been coming around. I put when I was there, because I think I sent you a picture. You stand like right in front of it. I got it like a couple picture like sequence or whatever. So when I was out there, I got one of the cell cams, and I was out there during the day when we were brush mowing and stuff, and I was eating some food, and I took like a quarter of a Pop-Tart and I left it right on top of the camera, and that fucking buck ate it right off the top of the camera.
You're lying to me.
Dude, I got the pictures. I got the pictures, dude.
What kind of Pop-Tart? Are we talking like cinnamon or are we talking
strawberry, dude? Strawberry.
Like OG strawberry or did it have cream on the top?
Well, I mean, like the regular strawberry, it's got some white like cement painted on it with some sprinkles.
That is OG.
You know, cement.
It is delicious though. That is a hell of a
freaking crunches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. How many more of these you want to rip through, Pink?
Let's do like 2 more.
All right.
Okay. This one says not a question, but I found soju. So nice. Okay.
There were a lot of comments about soju, even on our YouTube and everything. There's been a lot of soju comments. I still haven't gotten it, but I need to get on that.
Cody Hunter and his lady are trendsetters.
What is the weirdest thing you've ever caught a fish with? I'm assuming like as a bait or something, or just in general.
Weird. I can't think of it. I haven't really tried anything crazy.
I feel like it was something back in the day, like trying some weird stuff, catching goldfish or something.
I don't got a good one for this, like bread or something, but it's like that's not,
I will say Brock and I, when we were young, there was some years there when we were young that like behind my parents' house, the frogs were like plentiful, and we would catch a bunch of these leopard frogs and then like nose hook them like you'd see on TV or these guys catfishing do and throw them out on a feeder. And we never had great luck with them. I think we might have caught 1 or 2, but I don't know why. That doesn't necessarily answer the question, but I'm like, I've fished a lot of live frogs for the billies.
Yeah.
It doesn't work great.
Ain't it?
I think it's more of a catfish deal.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've done some dumb stuff where we use like candy, like a gummy worm or something stupid and caught like a bullhead or whatever. But like, I don't think I've done anything crazy. Wild. Yeah. All right. What do we got?
I have a story about catching fish on weird things and poor situations and sports, everything that we've talked about that relates kind of that question. I can make it really quick.
Do it.
This is a podcast.
Like, what are you waiting
about those things?
Not allowed.
Do you guys know the YouTuber Justin Jenkins?
Negative.
He's one of Jay Seaman's and Aaron Weeb's good buddies. He lives like way up, like none of it, like way up. Have you seen his videos? Him catching giant lake trout on like spoons and crazy stuff.
No, but it would make sense that they would eat that.
Oh, he's caught lake trout on the weirdest lures, so that it relates to that point. So Justin Jenkins. Okay. You gotta. He was at Jay Seaman's bachelor party.
Yeah.
His Instagram is called Assorted Meats.
Oh, maybe I do know this guy.
Maybe he's one of Jay and Aaron's buddies. Either way. So now this ties back into Bart Sports. He DM'd me. He was like, when I said like Skull Vikings, he was like, dude, I was at the game. And I was like, what? Shut up. Because like he lives like where human beings
end of the earth. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that he was down there watching the game was cool. I DM'd him back. I was like, that's crazy. Did you see JJ's catch? And he messaged me back. I'm going to pull it up. I was there, bro. Shut up. Shut your mouth. Bro, I went pee and missed the 97-yard TD. And this is right when I was responding back. I responded back, were you in your seat /see the 99-yard TD live? And then I responded back, oh no. And he says F words, man. and he said, literally, worst time piss of all time. And I said, maybe, just maybe it was meant to be. A watch pot never boils. He didn't respond back. I think he was mad after that. Then I was like, did you see that? He's like, no. Either way, he catches fish on weird baits. That was kind of a tangent, but
I like.
All right, Pink. One more.
Let's do last one. And this one's good because we can talk shit about. Okay, so has Hunter purchased a fish whistle, Tacoma, and spay rod for the upcoming season? You know what? based on the lack of communication, it's possible, and he might just be
he actually
to
might be
nature at
living
this
in
point.
it right now. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did
he's
he
definitely
personally
not
hear
wearing
me
shoes right
listen to
now. I can tell you that.
There is a part of you guys that know deep down Cody would look probably good with a man bun.
I know.
Fly
It's like
he
it
would
almost-
look awesome.
He would look
That's the
awesome with a
problem,
man
dude.
bun.
That's the problem. He's it. Like he's him.
The more he fails, the better he does.
He's just up there.
Once he realizes that, he'll stop trying.
Like he was built for disheveled, Like
Yeah.
He would look so good with a man bun fly
It's like-
fishing with his bare feet. You know damn well.
God
Oh,
damn it, he would,
great.
dude.
All right. Thank
All right.
you. Thank you to everybody that sent in the fan questions on
We'll
our
get to the
Instagram.
rest of them another time.
Yeah. We'll keep that segment on. We'll get to more of them. But yeah, I guess we got one more thing before we log off for the night. For everybody who made it this far, I guess I'm obliged to bring this up on the podcast, I guess, for some reason. But so Pink and Sobi, I am getting married next year, and I need you, or I would like you to both be in the wedding, if you will say yes.
Shut up.
Way to put it on the spot, Bart.
Shut up. Shut up.
Pink, can
Well,
you
God,
fill the air?
I'm really glad Hunter and Stolsky aren't here for this.
Yeah,
Tell
it
me-
actually lines up pretty well.
Tell me I'm ring bear.
Actually, I was hoping
just-
you
we
guys
could
would
huck
say
some-
yes, because
No.
me and Alyssa would greatly appreciate if you two would be flower guys for us.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
a yes. Just
Hard
distribute.
yes.
And I couldn't think of two people that would be better at it than you two together. So
It's a yes.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I
for
thought
sure,
you
dude.
guys would do great together.
It's a hell yes.
You got it. You got it.
All right, so if anybody's got any recommendation on the booze they should be tossing or the flowers they should be tossing, as long as they're not synthetic, the wedding venue said, we'll be good. So
Deal. Deal. That would be. It's gonna be electric.
I'll be like,
And-
just give me the rules.
Just give me the rules. And thank you. You know what? We you don't have to decide now, Bart. But I think a wicked giveaway to get us to 1,000 subscribers is
if you say a wedding invite, Alyssa's gonna
yeah,
kill you.
that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. When we get to 1,000 subscribers, Past The Barb on YouTube, you invite one of those subscribers to that wedding, son.
A random selection.
Random. Come on. Dragon
Honor gets to pick.
865.
Honor gets to pick it.
Alyssa will not say yes to that one. She allows
She
a
has
lot
to.
of
She
shenanigans
has
to happen. That one's gonna be a hard no.
I respect that.
Well,
like,
how about this? Will you at
no.
least ask and record what she responds with?
okay.
I could do that.
We can
Well,
post that on Past the Barb
Well,
social
I
media.
want you just to prop that phone up like you're just sitting here and you're like, yo,
Say, all right, the guys had an idea.
Yeah.
I think it's okay, but I'm not sure you're gonna like it.
And I know what you're thinking, we're already on top of the hill with the #1 outdoors podcast in the world, but we're trying to stay there. 1,000
This is all for
subscriber goes to
content.
wedding?
And then
Yeah.
you can remind her, like, we're getting married.
Yeah.
Remember that ring?
You have to ask.
Do it for the pod?
Do it for the
Yeah,
pod.
maybe. But all right, that is the last thing we had. Other than that, thank you for everybody who's hung out for 2 hours and 47 minutes.
Yeah, thank you.
We are back. We should be back on regularly scheduled programming for a while now. So if people got segment ideas, different things they want us to check in on, this is a time of year when we can start diving into stories and a bunch of different stuff that's gone down for the past half a year. And yeah, it's going to cool down. And dude, in like
About to be harvesting.
2 months, I might have a spud bar in my hand.
That's
Wouldn't that
crazy.
be
crazy?
To think about,
Yeah.
as it was like 80 degrees today. That's so weird to think about.
I know, but it's like a real thing every year.
We'll see.
So yeah, thank you everybody for coming in and listening to another episode of Past the Barb. Until next time, we will see you later. Go subscribe to the YouTube.